Let's open our mind. I know leadership don't need love don't mean retaliation. Proper thought. If we don't stop, if we parade, they celebrate. Eat caviar, drink champagne. If we parade, they celebrate. At the death of a child, of a slave, out of a slave. Remember your forefathers' tears, the lives which was lost for us to see peaceful years. When shots stop, who remains not? If they break, they celebrate. Eat caviar, drink champagne. If they break, they celebrate. At the death of the child of a slave. Proper thought. Open our mind. We don't stop. Open our mind. The child of a slave. Proper thought. Open our mind.
Peace, folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Popular Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T. YouTube page. I'm your ex, of course, but you knew that already. That's why you are here. Tonight, y'all know it's the old hours of power. Y'all already know what it is. You already know what it is. Now, tonight, I got a special show for y'all tonight, but I got some signals crossed up because I'm supposed to have George Macon, Nylah from Nylah Says, and War Secrets. But I had actually slated my man B.I.J, Black in Japan, to come on tonight. But I got the signals crossed up, checked the emails late, something happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send my man B.I.J the link as well, so I can get him up here. You know, but yeah, brother B.I.J, if you're listening, God damn it, I got the signals crossed up, brother. You know, my bad. You know, a lot of shit was going on. I wasn't sure if Brother Macon was going to be able to come through or not, because I had spoke with him and he wasn't sure. But I had already booked him, but I wanted you at first. So I just sent you the link, so you can go ahead and come on through if you want to. And if Brother Macon happen to show up, I'll just have 2 guests on the first hour, if that's, you know, what it has to be, because, you know, I know how to improvise. But anyway, yeah. Tonight, we're gonna have B.I.J. and George Macon for the first hour, I think, if Brother Macon can come through. And then after that, we actually gonna have Nyla from Nyla Says. I know y'all know who that is. Yeah, she's gonna be on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. And then closing out, I'm gonna be closing out with my man War Secrets. What's good? Simply Deep, Lando, what's good? Oh shit, ODJ in the house. Good looks, man, on the super chat too, man. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those nights, man, because y'all know X, he like to mix the personalities up. You know what I'm saying? Get 3 different personalities up here and all that. But like I always do when I start off, I always start off thanking you for your support, your subscriptions, and the coins that you donate. I got quite a few donations on Thursday. So all of you, you know who you are. Like I always say, always sit down, write you a personal email. Unless you do it like on a super chat, like brother ODJ just did, I say good looking right then and there. But if you happen to donate to my PayPal or my Streamlabs, y'all know it comes through my email, and I always sit down and write you a personal email and talk shit to you. But I always, always ended up with thanking you for your generous contribution, because like I always say, you don't have to spend your hard-earned coins on this platform, but you choose to do so. Therefore, you must see some type of value in this platform. So I will continue to give you that value and give you more of what you like. And once again, I'm humbled and honored that you feel the need to drop a few coins on a brother. I'm grateful and I thank you. So let's get on to it, because y'all know Wednesday nights is
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
Yeah, hours of power. So we're gonna start right off with my man B.I.J. What's good, brother B.I.J.?
Oh, what's good, brother X? What's going on? Thanks for having me on once again.
Oh, absolutely, man. I hadn't got you on the hours of power yet, so I've been trying to hit you up, to get you up on here, but I know you busy and I'm busy. Everybody in the world is busy, so but it's good to have you on, my brother. Full disclosure, y'all. B.I.J. is actually my man. He's been on the show a few times. We shoot the shit together, so I don't want y'all to think like we strangers or nothing like that. Just let y'all know. Full disclosure. But so what's been going on, man, since the last time we had a one-on-one, brother?
Man, just working on some deals, business. You know how it is, the entrepreneurial thing. The end of the year, everybody don't want to do business because it's tax season, and then all of a sudden they realize they had too much money, so they got to hurry up and spend it at the last minute. Okay. So you know how that works, and what I did, usually at the end of the year, or the end of last year, what I usually do is me and my family, we just have our time, from the last couple, right before, a little bit before Christmas, all the way until like the halfway into the new year. We just have our time. We just do us, and I kind of take a sabbatical from social media and stuff. Like I'm like MIA. Like I just like I don't want to see nothing on YouTube. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to just be out and just unplug from the matrix for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we get in here a little bit and we get out of touch with reality a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I want to do that. Get in touch back with nature and touch some things and just be close with my peoples and stuff. So, but other than that, things has been looking great moving forward. So you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of traveling to do this year, and I made some conscious efforts. I just dropped a video on my channel, me visiting places in Tokyo, and I got some videos that I'm gonna be posting pretty soon about my travels in Japan, because I think that's what people would like to see on my channel, but how we would react to things. You know what I mean? Not how, what I'm saying, everybody else, but the Black experience, how a regular Black person that came from the hood would react to certain things. Like, nah, I'm not eating that. and I ain't trying to eat that because I ain't gonna eat it. You know what I mean? Like it's just real. So that's just that, and that's all I've been up to, really, brother. No, you know what I'm saying. But I do apologize. I didn't get back to you quick enough because I'm usually real quick with the get backs. I was just, just unplugged for a little bit.
Yeah, something probably many of us need to do. I saw, because I'm in contact with Asia Travel Guy, and
Yeah.
I saw where you and him got together and shit. I was like, oh shit, because I was going to ask you, the next time I talk to you, had you and him, met up, and I went to his channel, and the first thing I saw was you and him. I was like, oh shit, I guess I don't need to ask that question.
Yeah.
So the both of you, are you guys close, or does it take some traveling for you to get to where he is?
It takes some traveling. He's let's see, you down in the Carolinas, right?
Yeah.
So basically where I'm at, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, I can make this easy. It's like I'm from Baltimore, so you're in the Carolinas. So that's how far apart we are. You know what I'm saying? To see each other. So
about 4 or 5 hours in, right?
Yeah, so I get on a bullet train to go see him. But he lives where my in-laws live at. So he lives like a city over from them. So when we go visit the in-laws, it all works out. So it's like 90 minutes on a bullet train. Bullet trains go about maybe 250 miles an hour or something like that. So we go over there, and that was the first time me and him actually met. But we've done content with each other a lot beforehand. So that was the first time me and him actually got together. And it's different when you meet a person in real life, like you right next to him, than even just talking to him through the screen, because now there's body language, it's that vibe and stuff. But it wasn't nothing, different or nothing like that. It was, what I'm saying, it was just better just to meet somebody and just, what I'm saying, really get that connection, that physical connection. Like I see you, you see me, we can't really hide, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just that. And it was really cool. But what I did notice was there's a difference when you travel and you're not around your own people. There's not enough of your own people around. And when me and him had the conversation and me and him was talking, it took about 30 minutes for him to relax. You know what I'm saying? It took like 30 minutes for him to kind of relax, because it was like I can tell he's not around his own people a lot. Where I live at, it ain't nothing but black people around, because it's a military base. You know what I'm saying? If I want to get around black people, I just get on like a train and go one stop over, and I'm around nothing but black people. And I got, I got elders and people that's been over here for a while, but we still got that in us. You know what I'm saying? So, we drink, we talk about sports, it's like barbershop type thing. Where he's at, he's really in Japan. Where I was walking around and they was looking at me like I'm like, why are they staring? I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm actually really, really in Japan. They don't see black people like that. Ain't enough of us around for them to see it, so it's something new. So it's like they staring because who's this new guy? You know what I mean? So, and I could see that with him. So after he kind of calmed down a little bit, and not calmed down, but relaxed, and and everything like that, I did my version of the vlog. And then you can see the difference. Like he did his version where it's more professional and kind of more straight laced and stuff. And I did my version, which is more relaxed and how we would actually get along and kick it and stuff like that. So that's the one thing where I'm trying to, something's telling me, the ancestors are speaking to me and telling me we need to get us to travel more outside of the US and go to different places. You ain't got to go as far as I did and go in Japan, but you go somewhere else so we can start traveling, getting these experiences, so we ain't scared all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we need to see different shit, man.
Yeah.
Well, 75% of us, man, that's three-fourths of the black population will never leave a 50 square mile radius of where they were born. I mean, that's a statistical fact. Like 75% of us will never leave within 50 miles of where we were born at. I mean, the city I live in is bigger than 50 miles. It's like I don't know, man. I don't know what's wrong with us. Don't
Well,
know. I'm trying to figure it out.
well, I think what it is I think what it is it's like it's the fear of the unknown, but it's the fear of the white boogeyman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that it's that you know, and that fear is passed down. You know what I'm saying? It's like hereditary, right? Like um if you take some water, you throw it in a black person's face, they'll act like they drowned,
Yeah.
right? They act like they drowning. And you don't and you never ask yourself why explain that, right? Like, you know, the hardest thing to do is to get black people to learn how to swim because they got to put their head under the water first. You got to get comfortable with it. Why don't you want to do it? Well, it's in your DNA because most of us was inland. So during the, you know, the transatlantic slave trade, you know what I mean? Black people, you know, they said, you know, they jumped off the side of the ship for freedom. No, they kicked them off the side of the ship
Mhm.
because they didn't need all them slaves to take them. And then when you get low on rations, don't believe everything that's put towards you and told to you because it's not always the truth. It's a lot of finagling in there. You got to understand. You got to experience things to get the truth, to understand what the truth actually is. When you run out of rations, you know, I was in the Navy. We used to run out of food. You know what I'm saying? And what we would do when we had to keep the mission going, they would bring another ship, what they would call alongside of us. And they would give us the fuel. And then they would also they would helicopter the food over to us. So these people are working on the ship, they need to eat. So what do you think happened in the North Atlantic slave trade when they had all these slaves that they had to feed? Oh, he's sickly, he's whatever, he don't look good. Keep the good cargo. You toss the other cargo off to the side because we can only feed but so many people. Because we got to keep the ship crew fed and we got to end the cargo. And remember, the slaves were brought across. It wasn't just a ship just full of slaves. Slaves was considered cargo, property, just like sugar, just like, you know what I'm saying, just like alcohol, just like anything else, salts and all of that other stuff. Salt cost more than a slave back then. You know, it's like people don't realize because once you got a slave, you got a woman and a man, you mate them together. It's like just like having two dogs, right? You know, people that breed dogs, right? You only need two dogs, a male and a female. After that, you got a good breed, right? Then you could just take the male out, and then if a dude has a female, you can breed them out. Really, the male dog is better to have than the female dog, if you really think about it. You know what I'm saying? So people, we have to travel because then you get to touch and feel history and not having it fed to you, but you get to touch it and go and look at it. And then you start to see certain things and then your mind starts to see and understand that what I tell a lot of people is if you want to know what it feels like to be treated like a regular person, leave the United States and go travel somewhere. You'll be treated like a regular person. But then you'll also see if you go to these Asian countries, how they treat white people. They treat white people like they treat black people in America. And they can't take it because they're not used to being treated that way. And you know, it was I went to Seychelles, Brother X, and it was amazing how I was treated. It was amazing how I was treated. It was like, it was the first time, you know what I mean? I went to Europe and stuff, but going to a place where it's nothing but black people running the whole place and the island, and I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, like this is a place that we run, that black people run, that is ran efficiently, and I'm treated great. Like no problems. Everybody's smiling and laughing and joking with me. People are very cordial and friendly. And I was like, man, so this is what an average everyday white person feels like in America.
So when it comes to comes to travel and stuff like that, do you
Mhm.
think that you would be as well traveled as you are if you weren't a military guy, or
Um,
were you into travel before you went to the military?
I I would say I couldn't afford it. Like let's put it like that. Like I couldn't afford it. I used to, how should I say it? Remember was it the public broadcasting network? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I was young, I was poor, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I used to stay over grandmama, big mama house a lot when my mom would be working or whatever. So big mama ain't have cable. So we used to watch the public broadcasting channel and they used to have National Geographics, right? And they would show all the travel places, right? And I always wanted to travel. So the only way for a poor inner city kid, black kid to travel was to join the military, right? So I went down to the office when I was old enough and I joined because there was nothing for me in Baltimore because either I was going to jail, I was going to get into something, stupidity. So I said, you know what, let me just go in the military and maybe get a job, do something. And I chose the Navy because the Navy did more traveling than all the other branches. You're just stationed there. You don't travel around unless, you get, whatever. The Navy, you actually get on the ship and you go from place to place. So when I went and I traveled, I worked, what I mean, because you work, what I mean, whatever. But the thing about travel, it's not getting there. It's being able to sleep there and it's being able to eat there and it's being able to enjoy yourself while you're there. Those are the major things about travel. The 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 transportation costs getting there and getting back, that's not the issue. It's your hotels and accommodations, your food, and certain places that you travel, you're not accustomed to the food or the water. Right? If you go to these countries, like if you go down to the Caribbean, you gotta stay what they call on the ranch. Like you gotta live in the hotels or in the villas because you can't drink the water that they're drinking due to the fact of the matter is your body's not used to the water. The water doesn't have the additives to it to kill off the parasites that your body would naturally do if you was accustomed to drinking that water and stuff like that. So yeah, I was into travel since I was young, but I used the military as a vehicle to do it. But I'm an '80s baby, so now y'all got the internet. You ain't got to do that. They got Airbnbs and stuff like that, so you can travel for cheap. You can literally travel for cheap now. It's just you just can't have the fear of not traveling. That's the thing that we as black people need to get over is the fear of planes, boats, and traveling. That's what we gotta get over that. We gotta get over that quick.
Well, I have often asked brothers, brothers like yourself, because I know of quite a few brothers who come from the military. I have quite a few military people in my family, career military guys, and I'll ask you the same thing I've often asked them. Do you suggest that brothers join the military? Do you think that's a good thing for the brothers to do, to join the military if they don't have any other career or job things, or they can't go to college or whatever the case may be? Should they be joining the military?
I would say yes. I would say yes and no. And I would say the military should be your last your last your fail safe, right? Like try to get into college by the regular means. Like the brother Joe, Asian travel guy, he came over to Asia because he went to college and he graduated. He had a Chinese roommate and he went to China first to teach English, right? He didn't go the normal route. There's another brother named Ty Brewski that we talked to in Vietnam. He's a teacher in Vietnam. He didn't go the military route. So I would say the military is your last resort because of technology now. You don't have to go the regular route. But I would say that instead of you going in debt, going to college, getting a degree, a skill, or whatever, and you can't really use it, and it's going to take you years to get out of that debt, join the military. But I would give you a precedence. Go for the Air Force first, the Army, depending on what your skill range is, and then the Navy and the Marines should be dead last, because the people, when a war pops off, the first people that's running into the fight is the Marines. You know what I'm saying? The Navy, you really don't get into nothing. Like, you sitting on a boat, you shooting off missiles, and that's about it. You know what I'm saying? And the Air Force is really not that either. You know what I mean? Everything is settled when the Air Force come in. They're like the golden kids of the military. They get everything. You know what I'm saying? So, but you got to be really smart. So if you're a really smart kid, but your family don't got the funds to send you to college, go in the Air Force, you'll score high, you'll get a good job, and then when you know what I mean, a good skill like computers or whatever like that, and then when you get out, you can get a great job because they're going to do a background check on you, security clearances. You get a security clearance, that's already putting you at the $50,000 to $80,000 a year mark. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And then you'll travel around and you'll see different things and stuff like that. Use it as a vehicle. You don't got to be in there for 20 years. Do your 2 or 4 years and get out and go about your life. You know what I'm saying? Just like college. You go to college for 4 years. Just the only difference is you get life experience. You learn a skill that you can actually use in real life. You know what I'm saying? Not theory. And then you get paid while you're there. So you can actually help your family if you got, loved ones and stuff like that, or help yourself and not be a burden, you know what I mean, on them, And there's so many brothers and sisters that are in the military that actually go in and actually helping their family members, their brothers and sisters, by sending money home and taking care of them, because they ain't got to worry about food, clothing, and shelter, and room and board, because it's already provided for them. Right? Where if you was going to college, they would have to help you. You know what I'm saying? And like, if that's the only thing. I'm not an advocate for everybody just running in and joining, but I am an advocate of last, that's a fail safe. You know what I'm saying? If you know you ain't got nothing going for you, go in the military, man. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Leave the street corners alone if you can. Get away from it. Run.
Run. Yeah, definitely run from that nonsense. Because see, there's not really a lot of future in that, young brothers. There's not a lot of future. There's no life insurance or 401k or any of that kind of bullshit. So yeah, take Brother B.I.J's advice. When a brother like yourself, right, ex-military, and now you're over in Asia, married, children, stuff like that, and I know now you're like a promoter now, right? You're like an entertainment promoter, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're living a decent life. So, I mean, going to the military, coming out the military, learning all kinds of skills and learning how to travel and do all this kind of stuff is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think what happens with a lot of brothers, because I've talked to brothers myself who said that they didn't want to go to the military because their mom, their old mama, how I am about these old mamas, their old mama convinced them not to go for one reason or another. Usually it's the I don't want you to go and get killed, that old spiel, and then the brother walks outside on the front porch and gets shot in the damn head right on the front porch. So do you think that it would be more brothers going into the military if they didn't get that get that line of bull from their family, from their old mama, from their friends? You think more brothers would be interested in going into the military?
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? My family said the same thing. Like my aunts, and because my mom passed when I was young. She passed when I was like 12. So my aunt, that I was living with, she said something. She's like, I'm not signing you up for the military, because I was graduating high school early. So she's like, I'm not signing you, gonna do it yourself, because a black man don't belong in two places, jail or the military. They don't belong in two places, jail or the military. And when I look back in my family tree, on my grandmama's side, most of her brothers, my great uncles, served in the military, the Air Force and the Army, right? And then they had good jobs and they had houses and stuff, and most of my family, from my mother's, on my mother's side of the family, they're from South Carolina. So they down in the South Carolina region and stuff like that. So, and they migrated up to Baltimore. That's when I think it was after World War II. That's when Bethlehem Steel opened up. So most of my grandmother's brothers and stuff, and some of my uncles, my older uncles, they worked at Bethlehem Steel before it shut down. So my thing is this: it's like, okay, there would be a lot of less what they would call quote unquote ain't shit black men if they went in the military and had a job, right? If they go in the military, they got a guaranteed job. They know they're going to get paid twice a month, the 1st and the 15th, right? If they have kids, the military pays you extra because you have a kid. So then if they're on child support, the child support is paid by the federal government back to you, the mama, and there's a place to be provided by. They have services, they have health care, they have all of this other stuff, right? And the thing is that they fed this line of bull stuff. So you don't want him to go in there and get killed. But then if he gets killed, at least you get $500,000 on his, you know what I'm saying, on his life, on his insurance, plus whatever money that he made if he died by serving, you get that money, you know what I'm saying? Or the child gets that money up until the child turns 18, or if you a widow, you get that money up until you get married again. So if this guy's making $3,000 a month, you can still access the base services. You ain't got to pay for his burial or his funeral proceedings because it's all taken care of by the military. You get that, then you get some money, and then the child can use the services. So why wouldn't you tell your men children to go into the military? And here's the crazy thing, Brother X. Do you know there's a whole bunch of sisters that are in the military that joined the military, and every time I meet one of them, when I was getting out, they already had kids. They already was a single mama. So it's a lot of single mamas in the military that joined up in the military. And it's a lot of single mamas, it's a lot of black women that get in the military and get pregnant by a higher ranking dude. And they getting their check, they getting a piece of his check, and the kids taken care of.
Yeah, because I mean, when you think about it, I mean, if you want to get down to the basics, I mean, the military is a job. I mean, it's getting a job. I mean, that's what it is. You're just not home as much. You don't come to your house every single day. I have a lot of two of my brothers were in the military, two of my uncles, and I got three nephews who went to the military. So I have quite a few military people in my family, and I never had any interest in it because I've always been a guy who liked to buck with my hands. And, they tell me the same things that you told me pretty much. I mean, pretty much word for word.
Yeah.
They say, this is what it is. They try to get me to convince my sons to go into the military. And I didn't want to try to convince my sons to go to the military because I hadn't went. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't went to the military, so I didn't want to try to convince my sons to go to the military. But I think that as opposed to spending your life in some ran down ass hood, okay, spending your life getting shot at, shooting at folks, broke, living on the cusp of poverty for decades on end. I think the military is a better option. I mean, because I know I was lucky. I was able to go to college and learn a trade and do all this kind of crap. I was able to do all of that. But if I was a brother who was like on the cusp of poverty and I had to eat roaches and shit like that when I was a young guy, I probably would have went to the military too. And there's a lot of brothers out here who don't, they don't have the opportunities. They don't have the, they don't have the mentorship. They don't have whatever. I think going to the military wouldn't be a bad option for those brothers. I mean, I don't want y'all freaking writing me thinking that I'm trying to, cape for the military or nothing like that. But if you're in a situation where, that you have no other options, instead of picking up a gun or picking up a knife or picking up a bag of crack, I mean, maybe you should pick your ass up and get on down to that military recruiting office, because that's going to give you a better outcome than picking up that knife, gun, that bag of crack. I'm just, that's just what it is. You can take that, anyhow, any way you want to take it. It just seems like, getting on down to that recruiting office is probably a better option for you, especially if you find yourself with no options. Like Brother B.I.J. said, he said that should be your last option. So if it's your last option, that means you don't have any others. So it may not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about some of this media shit, Brother B.I.J.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of stuff go on, on media, because I know you on media too. Probably not as much as my black ass, but I know you're on there. And give me your take on the state of media now. And I don't mean just YouTube, media in general. What do you think of it? What do you think of what you see?
Well, because I'm in the industry, what I'm saying, I know about things backdoor that I can't really give details or particulars about, but I can speak in just contexts. What people don't understand is media is propaganda incarnate itself. Media is there to entertain you, but it's also there to subvert and to teach you something, right? Consciously and subconsciously. Here's an example, right? Sesame Street, right? We all learned how to count, growing up. I was an 80s babies. I think Sesame Street started in the late 60s or something like that. But we all learned how to count, if we watch Sesame Street, right? But how do you teach a child to do something like that? You have to entertain them first. You have to let them think that they're having fun, and it has to be entertaining. Then you can teach them. Now, does the child actually knows how to count, or are they just regurgitating what was taught to them? Do they understand the importance of counting? They're just doing it because it's a fun game. Now, once they get to the second or third grade, they start to understand the importance, because when you learn how to count, they start teaching you what money is. Why do you need to know what money is? Well, you can't live, eat, or breathe without money. So over time, they teach you this. Now, what media has been doing is this. I remember back in the 80s, I used to watch this show called Three's Company, right? And anything that was real liberal, far as men being gay or anything of that nature, it had to take place in California, right? Like, so if you watch Three's Company, you remember it was John Ritter, it was forgot the other two that was there. Now remember, his landlord would not allow him to roommate with two women unless he was gay. So he would always act like he was gay when he came around, but he was straight, right? Now, the thing is that was implied. They didn't come out and say it, but you knew what it was. Now, why was it that it was okay for this man to be gay living with two women versus this man being a roommate of two women? Because the landlord was old school. He didn't believe in shacking up, right? He didn't believe in shacking up. So then if you go forward, right? If you go forward, then you had a show called Will and Grace, right? Where the dude was actually gay, but he had to say that he was straight, right? Then if you look now, you've been so much, how should I say it? Before, seeing two gay people walk down the street holding hands openly would have been like, oh my God. Now, if you see it, you just walk past it like it's nothing, like it's two straight people doing it. It took years of subverting for you to get used to it, right? It took years of seeing certain things, right? So that's what media is. Media is a driving tool for whoever is empowered to subvert or recondition you to accept certain things.
Do you think that as black folks within black society that we taking too much? Do we take in too much media?
I say like this is the problem is when when you're constantly being accosted, what is the only place that you have as an escape, right? Right? So it's the shows that we watch, right? It's the things that we take in, right? So What do we know? We know when I go outside, I have a higher possibility of not making it home safe, not because of the situations that I put myself in, but someone else having a bad day of a lighter skin complexion. This is put in your head. So when you get home, what do you want to watch? You want to watch something where the black person gets to fight back, where the black person is actually empowered, where the black person is telling the person of the lighter skin complexion they have to come under heel. That's why we like shows like Power, where we gravitate to the character Ghost, where the white dude isn't as smart as him, isn't as savvy as him, and the white dude is actually at a lower tier as him, because the white dude gets to do all the dirty work. Because in reality, reverse, we are always doing all the dirty work, and the white dude is always put up as being the smarter, more savvier person than the black guy, where that's not even the case, right? So we look at shows like Power, and then we look at shows like Empire, and then we gravitate to the buffoonery and the skullduggery, where if you look across all networks, white people or people of higher skin complexions of other ethnicities, they're put in different roles, right? You have their skullduggery, right? Because we can't just say, white people always projected in this nice way. No, they got their trailer park moments, like Jerry Springer, and then they have stuff like Cards, like House of Cards, or they have this. So we as black people, we can drive our own narrative because the only narrative that they give us is this. So we just have to be more responsible with it. But taking in more media, I think we all as people, just people across the board, not just black people, we all take in too much media, right? Because if you're not taught, let's just say on the different side of the spectrum, if you only see black people selling drugs, doing hip hop and shooting and killing and rapping and twerking on poles and stuff like that, and then you see that you're projected as being the smart guy, wearing a business suit, doing this type of stuff, that type of stuff, solving crimes and stuff like that. You're naturally, when you grow up as a child, going to think up black people are violent creatures. They're violent, subhuman individuals, right? And then if you're a black person, the only thing that you can hang your hat on of being successful is dunking a basketball or catching a football, right? Even in the NFL, how many black quarterbacks do you have versus white quarterbacks, right? The quarterback is the general of the football field. He tells the plays. The wide receiver can't catch the ball if the quarterback doesn't throw it. The running back can't run the ball unless the quarterback hands it to him, right? And then how many black head coaches do we got? If you say 70% of this league is black players, but the ones in the head positions, the quarterback, the coordinators, and the coaches are all white, then that still sends the narrative of what? That no matter how good you are, you'll never be in control of your future, right? So that's where we as black people need, even when we're on these platforms, we need to take time and be very cognizant of what we say, how we say it, and how we deliver it, because this is a form of media. And we need to always be in a position, even if we're not, being overtly pro-black, we need to basically be some type of building block of being black behind some things and showing some things. So that's just my take on it.
Well, I know as black folks, we have a tendency to, we're real susceptible to propaganda. But I think often we don't really know what propaganda is. What do you think? What do you think propaganda is? What would be considered propaganda in your view?
Any propaganda is anything to take any type of stereotype and change the masses into thinking in a certain type of way. That's what propaganda is. Propaganda has been used in warfare ever since the beginning of time, right? Back in the day, they used to call them bards. The guys, if you watch those old what do they call it? The Middle Ages with the castles and stuff and the knights. The guys that walk around with the little the guitar, they start singing these songs. They call them limericks. But the bard's job he was paid by the lords to sing these songs, but they were actually rumors. They were untruths. And because they were entertaining, he would go from place to place. He would go to bars, right? And then people would take that information and the masses would spread it, right? And then that reputation of whoever they was going against would be sullied, right? That is called propaganda, right? That is, it's just like in the news, right? Like, let's just talk about this R. Kelly thing real quick, right? Now, R. Kelly went to court for whatever he did, right? I'm not condoning whatever the man did. It's terrible. It's not even right. But the man didn't go to jail, right? Now, we know as black people, R. Kelly's been doing this for years. Everybody been knowing he's been doing this for years. He married Sparkle. He messed with Aaliyah when she was underage. We all know this for years, right? Why all of a sudden is R. Kelly getting messed with now? Who did he mess with? They got so pissed off about him. And remember, the person that everybody's talking about, R. Kelly ain't this, but the person that drove this was Lady Gaga talking about she's not going to put her music on any type of these streaming networks if they don't take R. Kelly down. Specifically pointing out R. Kelly, right? Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that's propaganda. That right there itself, just like he was built up and he was protected, right? Why didn't he go to jail when they had the tape, they had everything, they had all the evidence, but he didn't go to jail? But now all of a sudden, they taking his music down. He can't be in his own studio. He's all on the news, right? That's what propaganda do. Just like he can shoot somebody in the middle of the street, not go to jail, and when he ain't doing nothing, they can publicly execute him. Y'all got to watch this stuff, y'all, because if they'll do it to these people that are supposedly rich, what do they think they doing to your black ass every day of the week? That's what propaganda is. It'll change your mindset real quick, and you won't even know it. You won't even know it.
Absolutely, because if they can do it to somebody that has a few $1 million in the bank, they can damn sure do it to your ass and you broke. So so brothers gotta be, see, this is the thing. Like you said, I mean, R. Kelly, Brother Kelly, we as black folks, we have been aware of what R. Kelly does for years. I mean, it's nothing new. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. And like you said, maybe he might have touched the wrong nerve with something that he did and or said. So now they feel the need to go after him when he's been doing this shit for a long time. I have talked to women, grown women, okay, on my channel that told me that R. Kelly used to be at their high school when they were like 14 and 15. He used to be at their high school. So I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, this is who he is. The brother likes young girls. I mean, we already know that. So like you said, he might have touched the wrong nerve. He might have did something wrong to somebody for them to be coming down on him. And not only that, the attorney general out there said that she's going to go into she's starting an investigation, something that obviously went all these years and didn't happen. He had the thing going on with the other young girl years ago, and that went nowhere. But now I believe her name is Kim Fox, I believe her name is, and she says she's starting an investigation all of a sudden. So it is what it is, man. And
well, it's like, I'm gonna put it to you like this right here, right? When let's look at it like this, black people, right? And this is where we gotta understand something, right? Okay. When Bill Cosby said whatever and everybody was saying about Bill Cosby, y'all gotta realize something. Bill Cosby was in television the 50s and the 60s, right? You telling me that this black man was drugging white women, having sex with them, smashing them down, paying them off, and they wait all the way until 2018 to send him to jail. where if a black man in a certain part of the United States would even look at a white woman wrong, he'll end up in the tree hanging somewhere. Right? Now, the thing is when you decide that you no longer want to be a gatekeeper and you want to go and swim upstream, like they say in Japan, the nail that gets sticks out get hammered down, right? So y'all have to understand that these are powers at play. But let's look at it like this. Kevin Spacey was touching underage children. Where's the attorney general investigating him? And it's documented cold, hard facts. And he's been doing it for years. Louis Anderson been harassing women. Harvey Weinstein just got off on what they said he was doing, right? The Me Too movement stuff. Where's that at? Now they're going after R. Kelly. See, the difference is R. Kelly going to go to jail. Harvey Weinstein and them just going to go away because they're using the black people as the extreme. You see what we did to them niggas? Guess what we going to do to you if you don't get in line? Now you're going to do what we told you to do. And they don't understand that in Hollywood or in any type of entertainment industry, remember when Brother Cat Williams did that interview, stand up when he was talking about how he went to a mansion party and he was like, yo, what is they doing in this room? And he did that side. He didn't say what they was doing, but you could tell by his facial expression. It wasn't something that you supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah, he was alluding to the whole Illuminati shit, I guess. I don't know.
Right. But then he said, man, I went to do a business deal and the dude was doing a line of coke and he still had it on his nose, right? Now, here's the thing there, Brother X, and I'm in the industry. Do you know, Brother X, that there is a certain threshold that you have to do as an artist, and they all have to go through this initiation process to go higher up? You got to sacrifice something. They got to have some dirt on you. And they get these really rich people to pay you. And then you show up, they pay your handlers or your agent. Agents ain't nothing but handlers. They pay them, you show up to this place, and you got to do X, Y, and Z. Now, you get a choice. If you do it, you become a star. If you don't do it, well, you ain't going nowhere, right? This is what happens. So when you get to a higher level and they come to you and tell you to do X, Y, and Z, guess what? If you don't do it, guess what they're going to get? Because not only will you be the subject of the participation, but then later on, you will have to participate in it. See, and that's what they don't understand. Like if you notice, anybody that says anything about Jamie Foxx, all of a sudden something happens to him. Right? Look at Kevin Hart. Every time Kevin Hart got caught cheating on somebody, Jamie Foxx was always in the middle of it. Right? Like, if you think about it, when all of these people's sexual problems or sexual interests came out, why did it come out? You know why it came out? Because Hugh Hefner died. Hugh Hefner was the keeper of secrets in Hollywood. You come to the Playboy Mansion, you get to do whatever you want. Then you think about it. He dies, who's there with the power vacuum, right? So, like I said, this media and propaganda, there's a lot of things like this Illuminati thing. Any name that you think you know is a name that they just give you to make you feel like you know something, but it's something completely different on a higher level that you can barely fathom. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of things that people don't understand.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you've seen this stuff because you're in entertainment. So you see all that backroom nonsense that's going on. You know what's really good in the back rooms because you're part of it. Does it bother you being that you're into, you promote, you deal with these people, these celebrities and all these singers and all? Does it bother you? Does it concern you with all this stuff going on around you? Does it make you more leery, when you gotta, when you out doing your thing and doing your promotions? Does it concern you?
What it tells me is it tells me is this, right? It's like there's always a protocol with anything, right? Like you're a business owner, right?
Yep.
So you know that there's certain things for you to go higher for your business to make a lot of money. You got to stop looking at people as people and start looking at them as numbers, right? And the more power you gain, the less humanity you have to have. You have to almost have this godlike omnipotence going on in your head, right? You can't look at people as people, but you got to look at them as resources. You got to look at them like, oh man, I just lost a bolt and I got to buy a new bolt. You don't look at it. You don't look at that person as he's got a wife and the kids and a family. You can't look at them like that because when you get higher, right? So when I'm in these places, the only thing I can do is get myself straight. And then if I know what's going on, I just don't participate. There's a lot of deals I just let go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Not, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of black people say, man, we need to get more black people to do this, that, and the third. I said, no, because y'all not built to think in the processes that these people are thinking of. See, I said, here's the thing. When someone told me this, they said, slaves can't teach slaves how to be free. Only free men can do that, right? What people don't understand is there's a difference to being in bondage or mental slavery and freeing yourself and then enslaving people to serve. See, that's the thing that people don't understand. For you to be in power, you literally have to mentally enslave people to follow you. And then you have to treat them like sheep. So do you really want that responsibility? Or do you want what would we call would you like to be lied to think that you have freedom? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are comfortable in being comfortable. That's why a lot of people work these dead-end jobs. That's why a lot of people, if I'm sitting here and I done seen 10 people get laid off within a year, common sense would say go find another job. But why do you still stay there? Because it ain't gonna happen to me. And when it happens to you, your best friend at work that used to cover for you, they're gonna forget all about you in 6 months. Man, are you doing good? How you been? Right? Because they still got a job. This is how people operate. So when I'm in those situations, I got to do what's best for me at the time. But if I see another one of us, I'll warn them. Hey, bro, you want to go through that door, bro, because this is what's happening. The only thing I can do is warn you. The only thing I can do is give you the information. I can't make you do anything. I'm not gonna beg you to be great. But if you can take that and you willing to compensate, if you willing to give up for compensation your soul for some power, then go right ahead, brother. All means to it. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't do that. What I realize is that there's a certain level because of my standards and how I am as a person that I will go. It's only so far that I will go. You know what I'm saying? And I'll stop right there. You know what I mean? I can't do but so much. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't sleep at night. At the end of the day, it's all on your integrity. It's you. You got to deal with yourself. If you can be the worst jerk imaginable and throw people underneath the bus and take women and hand them over to these dudes and stuff like that, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And a lot of these, and even when I look at the R. Kelly thing, these girls came to his house. He didn't kidnap them and bring them. So where was the parents at? Where was the parents at? My kids can't go nowhere without me knowing about it. Where was the parents at?
Good damn question.
They got paid off. That's what happened. They got paid the hell off. That's what happened. And then they got paid off again for them to bring it back up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Big bank breaks little bank any day of the week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming through, my
Yes, brother.
Gotta hit me up. I guess I catch you in on Discord or something. I haven't been
Yeah.
on Discord in a while, because I've been busy and shit. But I'm gonna get up in there and shit. Jay Sean be trying to get me to come up in there, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in there. Just yeah, we'll definitely do this again, brother. We'll sit down and chop it up. Salute to the sister Nyla says. How you doing, sister?
oh
I'm
yeah,
good.
we
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How you been?
Not bad. How you doing, T.P.O.T?
hey, what's going on, Lady Nyla? You can just call me X. That's what everybody calls me anyway. My name is
X.
Xavier.
Okay. All right. I just didn't want to have to enunciate all them damn words.
Nah, good man. No, no one wants to. No one wants to. Yeah, brother B.I.J, man. Me and you will talk in the back channels, brother. You know that, my man.
Yeah, bro. Thank
Peace,
you.
brother.
Peace to you.
Next up on the old those of you might know who this lady is. If you don't, I don't know where you've been. But my next guest, actually, she's the first female guest to be on the Hours of Power. Okay.
Wow.
Those of you who follow the Proper Thought series know that already. She's the first female guest on the Hours of Power. I wanted her on here. Full disclosure, I was actually on a panel with Lady Nyla a few days ago, and I got a chance to interact with her a little bit for a few minutes. And I was able to convince her to come on, and it wasn't hard either, y'all. It was pretty easy to convince her to come on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page because y'all know how we get down over here. So I'm going to say this, okay, before we even get started. Moderators. Now, y'all know, I got a lot of red pill brothers who listen to me. MGTOW, Ibmore, SYS, SYSYBM brothers. I want you to be respectful. My moderators, keep an eye on them. You're allowed to disagree. You're allowed to comment, but you're not allowed to be disrespectful. You ain't gonna disrespect my guests, all right? I'm just letting y'all know right now, my mod's gonna chop your damn heads off. Anybody who comes from out of the circle of influence of the old T.P.O.T YouTube page that happens to come in here and say something stupid, y'all already know what to do. Just go ahead and chop their heads off and let them go somewhere else and make their stupid comments, okay? Anyway, peace. What's going on? I'm glad that you could come through. Let me start right off with the question that I start asking everybody, that I start off with everybody who comes on here. What brought you to YouTube?
Okay. Can I say something before we get started?
Absolutely.
You guys don't have to moderate too hard. I know that like the guys are really frustrated. And if they need to like punch on Nyla in the chat box, it's fine.
Nah,
I understand.
no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not fine. No, it's not. No, it's not.
But thanks for having me, and I appreciate that. I didn't know you didn't have any other female guest on.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
well, this is the Proper Thought series, so it's about 9 different series, and the Hours of Power.
Oh, okay.
This is relatively new. I've only been doing it a few months, so that's why I said, we're doing some new things around here, so we're breaking down some new doors. But go ahead, continue.
Okay, so what brought me to YouTube was for like the last couple of years, I was mostly like interacting on Facebook, and I had views on politics and different things that were not necessarily popular, and would end up getting me suspended, back to back 30-day suspensions, reporting all the time and stuff like that. And we had a few Facebook groups where we like would debate, host conference calls and stuff like that. And so people would always come to my page and say, "Hey, do you have a YouTube page? Do you have a show? Do you do something like that?" Because people always assume that I did. As a matter of fact, I would get interviewed a lot on people's blog talk radio stations because they would find my posts, because they would get shared a lot and stuff like that. And they would just be like, what's the name of your channel after each interview? And I'd be like, well, I don't have one. And so the last time that I got interviewed on YouTube, when the guy asked me what my channel was, I was like, you know what? And I told him the regular, I don't have one. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and start a channel after that. It was, I just felt like it was he kind of thrust upon me. So 2 weeks after that interview, I started the channel, and that was 6 months ago.
Well, I I know that you're one of the more popular YouTubers on that side. And I know you have a whole host of people that come through there, because I make it my business to watch people's stuff before I have them on. So I actually watch some of your stuff. And everybody comes through there. I seen some of everybody over there, on those panels, some of everybody, people
Mm-hmm.
like Brother Taz, Amiri, BGS, Info Man, people like that, Gab, my folks, my brothers, I see them come through there. Why do you think that? Why do you think that so many people are drawn over there to your platforms as opposed to others that I know I would never see them on? Why do you think they come over there to you?
To be honest, I don't know. I some people I know, like I've I know them like from social media and have been, kind of go back far back with them. But like most of the people on YouTube I don't know, and I really can't explain it in anything that this is just who I am. This is me. And I think that and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I think that a lot of people go through great lengths to not be their authentic self because they're trying to be like, I just no matter what circle I've been in. So
I'm losing you a
when
little
you're
bit.
yourself,
You're
crave.
fading in and out.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yep.
Okay. So I think that people value authenticity, and I don't sugarcoat things much. I got a bit of a potty mouth sometimes, and I'm not necessarily over here talking about makeup and jelly beans and rainbows and stuff. I talk about, real shit. If you viewed, my main content, outside of the panels and stuff like that. And I think that that's stuff that people want to talk about.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: as a female YouTuber, content creator, what's your take on this, on the quote unquote gender war slash gender conflict that's going on between male YouTubers and female YouTubers? What's your take on it?
Um, I think it is mostly limited to YouTube because in real life, I don't witness strife between black women and black men to this degree. So I think that it may have, and I'm not trying to sound cliche, but I think that it's um, somewhat of a crab in a bucket type of thing. And I think that people are kind of not understanding that there's room for everybody on their own channel to be the it person or the star or whatever. Everybody can be the star of their own show on YouTube. And I think that um, people just kind of like maybe starved for content, may not necessarily, know where to go. So a lot of people are fighting for the same space on their channels. And I don't understand it because I think that there's room for all of us on our channels throughout YouTube. And we can all be number one on our channel. You know what I mean?
Do you think we push that narrative too much? Do you think we push that whole male v female thing? Are we pushing it too much as YouTubers?
Yes, I think it is. It's really it's really bad, but I also think that it's so much a part of YouTube culture, and I think that people saw a blueprint of fighting fighting against the genders take place and become very successful, and that's the only lane that a lot of people think that you can get in order to be popular. Because if you think about it, if you talk enough shit about anybody, especially if you direct it towards a gender on YouTube, you're gonna get a lot of attention for it. And for some people, that that's everything. And negativity is what a lot of people feed off of. We've seen people get very, very large, popular, monetized platforms from attacking genders, and so I think that everybody kind of wanted to get into that lane.
So I noticed that because I'm not really subscribed to a lot of female content creators. Um but I noticed that you have a lot of subscribers. You have a pretty heavy subscriber count. Do you think that, well, you say people like authenticity. So which also means people like, well, to be frank, a lot of brothers we watch just because it's a girl on there. I mean, I'm just gonna call it what it is. It's a woman up there we watching, even if we ain't even listening to shit she's saying. A lot of us dudes, and I would even venture to say the majority of us, at least 51%, we watching just because it's a girl up there talking. Um, do you think that your popularity would be do you think that your popularity would be the same if you were, say, 350-pound buck to Godzilla looking woman? Do you think that do you think that your popularity would be the same? Because that matters too, unfortunately. Do you
Right.
think
And I
your
do
popularity would be the same?
I do. But it probably would have. I'm kind of torn because here's the thing. One of the reasons why, and I will be, going on camera. I'm just not going to tell anybody what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pop up and do it pretty soon, right? And one of the reasons why, like, you don't see me like in front of the camera, posturing and hamming up, because I mean, I know that I'm an attractive woman, and I don't have to be attractive to everybody, but I know somebody probably thinks I'm butt ugly. That's fine, but I know that I'd probably have double the subscriber count if I got on camera. And I wanted to build my channel based off of my content creation and who I was personally. And that's why I'm not flirty. I don't really like, as far as vulgar talk, it would be me cussing someone out for like disrespecting me or something like that. But I don't do a lot of sex talk, and I don't do the playing up my feminine assets, for lack of better words, because I did not want anybody to come back and say, "Oh, she got 10,000 subscribers in 6 months because she's on camera and she's posturing for the men and she's doing that and all that kind of stuff." And I do have more male subscribers than I do female subscribers, but I know plenty of women, attractive women on YouTube who don't have my subscriber count, who started before me, who are overtly seeking male attention and they don't have my subscriber count. So, and they're very attractive. So I do think that there is something that is setting me apart. So I don't have to do that for subscribers.
Okay. Because, like, I mean, to be honest, I mean, well, let me ask you this. Do you think that many women play to that? Are a lot of women playing to the whole, I'm getting up on camera, I'm sexy, I can talk about any old damn thing, and people will watch? Do you think there's a lot of that being promoted in YouTube on the female side of things?
I think that it has been, from time to time promoted. And some people, like, I mean, they say you use what you have to get what you want or whatever, but I just don't, I don't think that that's a long term a good idea long term. And I think that gets old. And as we all get old, we got to have a little bit something more, because I'm telling you, there are beautiful women on YouTube who have been here longer, and they will, play up their sex appeal. I know how to do that. I know how to do that very well, very well. But I'll never do that. No one will ever be able to say that I use my looks or I tried to use sex appeal or anything like that. If anything, they'll be mad at me for not using it. I would rather leave a lot to the imagination than to go out there and just, look at me. But, everybody's not me. But I can create content, so I don't have to be the content.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask a little bit about you. Let me just ask about some things that I actually heard you say a few days ago. I understand that you are a married woman,
Hmm.
um, and a mom, and a successful woman as well, because you're a business owner and things of that nature, right? So,
Hmm.
that being said, why do you think that women like yourself, and I think I talked about this the other day too, women like yourself who have it together, obviously. I mean, you got a husband, kid, business, all that, good life. Why do we have such I don't want to say a limited amount, but I'll say a small amount of women who can make the same claim inside black society. Why do you think that is? To have that life, that the husband, the kid, living good, all that kind of stuff. Why do you think there's not many more women like you within black society? Because it's not a lot. It's not.
But I disagree. I just think that I mean, I've seen this all my life. I'm not an anomaly. Um all my sisters that are of, like, it's time for them to marry and have kids, they're all married. My cousins are married women. Like, I live in a neighborhood with married black women. And some of them may not necessarily have went down to the chapel and all that kind of stuff, but I think that what is a good situation for everybody may not look the same for everyone. So maybe the woman next door, maybe they didn't go and get a marriage license, but they're in a working relationship. Maybe they don't have a business, maybe they both work at Taco Bell. I don't know. But they're striving and progressing together, and they're raising a family. So I don't believe the narrative that because we can't all necessarily be documented on paper, and that it all doesn't look cookie cutter, because I don't even believe that I'm cookie cutter, but like, I think that our perception of what a good relationship and a working relationship between black men and black women, our perception of what it is supposed to look like may be a little bit off. Because sometimes maybe it might be, well, I stay home. I don't leave out of the house much. My husband is a provider. But I've always done well. But some situations may be where the woman is more financially able. Some situations, maybe where it could be a stepfather in the house, a stepmother. Everybody doesn't have the same life, but as long as it's working, and there's progress there, and there's stability there. Just because it doesn't look like my situation or your situation, I wouldn't say that it's bad.
So I can assume that you don't buy into the narrative that most, well, I won't say most, but many of us on YouTube, or these YouTube streets, if you will, they say that black society is dead. They say that there's no hope for black society. They say that black society needs to just burn down and regrow. So you don't subscribe to that, right?
Absolutely not. I don't subscribe to that at all. Do I believe that we have factions of our communities that aren't so pretty and that's jacked up? Hell yeah. Who doesn't? But I think that there is so much weaponized propaganda against black folks from mainstream media, and it's gotten so bad that we don't realize that we are regurgitating their talking points, And we've weaponized propaganda against each other as well. I think that we have started to look at life and each other through the lenses and the experiences of people that don't like us. And when we do that, we start to mimic and sound like them. I did commentary about maybe 5 months ago, and it was the new face of white supremacy. And I played a clip from the 60s, and there were white supremacists in the clip, and they were just completely shitting on black people with all of the typical and same talking points that you can turn to almost any black here. And I think that is our fault. And I think that it's sad. It's sad that we look at each other through someone else's lenses. When I look at black folks, I see the best in them. Just because, like I think we were having the conversation on Information Man show.
Mm-hmm.
Just because for me, when I see somebody that's poor or from the projects or whatever, I see some, I don't assume that they're not trying. When I see somebody, I see a brother washing cars outside
You're
or
fading in and out
helping
again,
with the mow
Lady
line,
Nyla.
I don't assume
You're fa-
whatever it takes to
you're
get
fading in
done
and
what
out
he's getting
again.
done. I don't look down on him.
So
Hello, can you hear me
yeah,
now?
you were fading a little bit there before, but I know you told me that you don't believe in the identity politics. You said you don't believe in that. Um, but
No.
many of us do as black folks, okay? And
Mhm.
I throw my black ass in there too, because I kind of do too. Um,
Mhm.
I believe that everyone has uh great potential, but I just believe that not everyone knows that. That's what I believe. I believe everyone has great potential, but not all of us know it. Okay. Um, I think that many of us um are destined for greatness if we get some of the bullshit out of our life. I believe that. Um,
Yeah.
so let me ask you, what do you think is one of the biggest problems in black society in a whole? What's the number one thing within black society that if we was to reverse that, black society would improve like quickly within the next, say, 5 years or so?
If I really just think the reversing of the lenses that we view each other through, because I think that those lenses are what's preventing us from loving each other and seeing the humanity in each other. If we loved each other, you couldn't look at black folks because they're poor or they may have a southern accent or they may have made some mistakes in their lives or whatever. You can look at them and just throw them away and discard them as unredeemable or um, trash or ghetto or whatever. We would start to look at what's behind things instead of what was created. I just think that black people um, are buying into the propaganda right now. And I just wish that we would turn that around and use that as a weapon against everybody but us.
Okay. So what's your take on black male YouTube? What do you think about the brothers on YouTube? The ones that you watch, the ones that you kind of, I guess subscribe to or whatever. What's your take on black men on YouTube? What do you think about that? Or should I
There's so many good brothers on YouTube. There's of course there's Taz Exclusives who's doing his game. Congrats to him on his first live stream today. We got Gab. I'm getting familiar with you. I came over here when you were interviewing Taz actually.
Mhm.
And that was a great interview. By the way, you have a very good interview style. It was real. I was actually really impressed with the way that you did that. I think you had Taz and another guy on, but it was really good. I was meaning to tell you that I really liked the style
No,
that you
thank
took.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
no problem. It's like I feel like you've done this like a lot.
Well,
Like when you were
actually,
doing it, I don't know if you.
Yeah, well, actually, I used to work for a radio station. I used to work for Nubia Hood Radio. That's how I started this whole YouTube
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
I used to
Because
be a
you sound like that. You sound like I mean, listening to you, I feel like I can hear you on a radio show
yeah.
or
I
a
did
talk show.
I did radio. I did a radio talk show for many years. And then I kind of you know stopped doing that, and I kind of worked my way into doing this YouTube stuff. You
Okay,
know.
cool. So yeah, so my senses were right.
hmm
So like you've got Gab, you've got Information Man, you got O'Shea over there doing good stuff. There are a lot of black male YouTubers that are doing really good and that are none of us are perfect. We've all got our little gripes or whatever, but I think there's a lot of good men on black YouTube. Now, of course, there's some elements that that I would rather not speak on, but even in them, I really think that they're just trying to pay the bills, and that's just the way that they know how to pay the bills.
So so I gather that there are male YouTubers that you don't like. Are there any female YouTubers that you don't like? That you just don't like their style, not them per se,
I wouldn't
just
say yeah, I wouldn't say I don't like them. Cuz like even like some of the ones that I don't care for what they do and how they do it, can't necessarily say I dislike them. Unless they like unless you're doing something completely um anti-black, and I then I take issue with you, but I think people are people. But yeah, there are some women doing some good things on YouTube. And there are some women that are detrimental on YouTube. Just like there are some men that are kind of, doing some anti-black stuff. And I take a lot of criticism because a lot of women feel like I'm harder on women, or I'm more critical of women on YouTube. And I might be, and that might be a flaw. But I guess it's no different than how men kind of, men of old kind of held men to a higher standard or a certain standard or whatever. And so I think that maybe that might be part of my problem or something. But I do kind of wish that women that we could do better about some things. I do.
so. This is an assumption, but I guess you believe that the women should be teaching the women and the men should be teaching the men. Do you believe that?
To a certain degree. Here's the thing. I think that we should be being an example. If you call yourself a teacher and you're teaching or whatever, and you're pontificating from your platform and you're saying what people should do, you should at least be setting the example yourself and dealing with your own people. I don't feel like um, I need to be telling men what to do. Like if there are 50 men around and there are 3 women and 20 of the men are out of pocket, I expect all 30 of you guys to take care of it. I don't need to, step in. And if I felt like I need to step and say something, that would be because I don't respect the 30 men. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm in a position where I can't respect you, that's a little different. But as long as there are viable, decent men around, I don't feel like it's my job to police men. And but here's the thing too, I don't believe that grown folks are supposed to be trying to tell grown folks what to do. So I'll never get on my platform and say, hey, you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do this because I did this. I'll share with you my thoughts and my experiences and my guesses, but I'm never going to try and become the YouTube pastor, if you know what I'm saying. So if we're having the conversation in context and we're talking about a certain subject and it's a gender related one, then I'll definitely give my opinion. But I'll never get up on my platform and say, hey, women, you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that. I'm just going to be what I'm supposed, what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? So I'm faithful to my husband. He's first, my family's first. Um, those kind of things, like real life shit, I'm supposed to handle that. I don't think I'm supposed to, be sitting up here telling other women what's supposed to happen at their house. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
because my house is laid out the way it's supposed to be, and I follow what's going on in my house, so I can't tell you what to do in your house. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, that's that's a big thing with brothers on YouTube, because what we often say is uh with dudes, we don't have a problem checking another dude if he's doing some shit that we think is crazy or off the ship. We're not going to show solidarity with him at all. But what we often see, the brothers on YouTube, women like yourself, who are obviously, a woman who's got her shit together, we often feel like you ladies don't hold these ladies who are doing the craziness. I'm not saying you specifically.
Hmm.
I'm saying women, like you, don't really hold these other, these ratchets accountable. Y'all kind of show solidarity with them. What's your take on that? Do the women
Um,
like you take solidarity with the hoes and ratchets?
I take solidarity with my family and my household, and with people who are like minded with me. So I don't believe, that's why I said I don't think it's my job to sit up and tell people what they're supposed to be doing. I don't think that anybody can hold anybody accountable on social media for shit. And I just don't.
Agree.
And so I think it's kind of stupid for, like real talk. We have this ongoing conversation with black folks on YouTube about the Pookie and Ray Rays and the thoughts, the what we would call the incorrigibles or whatever, right? But in real life, these dudes are on the corner, right? With their pants sagging or whatever, or doing what they doing, and their counterparts are out there doing what they doing. I don't see men walking up trying to tell them and hold them accountable for shit. So I'm about real life shit. So I'm not going to pretend on YouTube that I can hold any, like, if she crazy, deranged. You see these new these new Negroes out here. You can hit these girls with 2x4s, run them over. You know what I'm saying? They off that Zan and all that kind of stuff. What the hell I look like trying to hold her accountable for something? Hold her accountable for what? What I can do is do what I'm supposed to do. I had to raise mine to be, to do what, she was supposed to do. And the girls that I am directly influenced, and I've always held myself to a certain standard for them. And that's personal responsibility. But no, the women on YouTube that are twerking and doing all dumb shit, I can't compete with that. You know what I'm saying? I can't hold them hoes accountable. They're going to be there. But what I can do is highlight the women who don't do that shit, because the women and the men, to me, that are doing what's undesirable, they don't deserve airtime. No other group of people highlights the uh, the degenerates and focuses on the degenerates. Everybody else ignores them. But we make them our mascots. I don't want Shaniqua with 17 kids and 16 baby daddies representing me. So I don't talk to her. I don't, I don't talk on her. If it comes up in a conversation because of the situation, okay, we'll talk about it. But I'm not gonna sit up here and talk about the degenerates of our communities like as if that's going to make them go away. And I don't believe that the majority of us are degenerates. There's always going to be somebody in the community that's fucked up. There's always going to be fucked up people. They're never going to go away completely. And think about it. If every black woman in America and every black man in America suddenly became perfect, 95% of black YouTube's platforms would fall, because what the fuck else would they be talking about? So do people really want them to go away?
Well, let me ask you a little bit about media and our channels. Do you think that, well, I'll ask you about your channel. Do you believe
Mm-hmm.
that your channel is an asset to black society? whatever, whatever small pocket that it hits? Do you think that it's an asset to that?
I don't know that my platform is large enough to call it an asset. Um, but here's what I can tell you. Um, there have been numerous shows. I get a lot of emails where people say stuff like, I didn't know about this before you said that. Or I never heard of this. I didn't know this about this person. I never talked about this subject. I never looked at it from this perspective. Um, and we've actually, especially like, when I first started doing my panels, it was met with a little resistance and controversy from Black YouTube. A lot of people didn't like it, especially because like one of them, that first one that lasted 8 hours, which it's never planned to be 8 hours, but now it's just the expectation or whatever. And during the conversation, I think the first one that we did that was super long was why Black men and Black women aren't getting along. So throughout that conversation, there are four or five different groups of 4 or 5 different ones of us who are sitting there, and we're giving our perspectives on issues, and we all have different perspectives. And throughout that, because I don't believe that we all are supposed to agree, and I don't believe that we're all supposed to sound alike, say the same thing, and think alike. So there was conflict and people argued. But what normally happens on my platform, and people have watched it go down, like, I don't believe that arguing and conflict and even a fight is necessarily unproductive, because a lot of times within those fights there is production. They move past it, they progress, and there's an understanding there. We've seen people beef on my platform, and at the end of the day work that shit out. And so I think that we need to see that kind of stuff happen. We need to see the conflict happen and get resolved. We need to see Black men and Black women cooperating. Everybody's talking about Black women don't respect Black men and Black men hate Black women. But you come to my platform and you see, yeah, Cynthia and Taz will fight sometime, or I'll argue with somebody or whatever. But at the end of the day, what you do witness that there's a mutual respect, and we are cooperating. We're cooperating on each other's platform. We're working together. We're watching on my platform happen. We're watching it happen. We're watching Black men and Black women cooperate. That's what's going on. And in watching that, there's conflict. There's some pain. There's some shit that's gonna be said that you don't like. There's some criticism there. But throughout the underlying theme is we are all cooperating. I share my platform with them. They share their platforms with me. The things that we're complaining about in the community is we're witnessing on my platform.
Well, one thing I noticed, because I watched some of your stuff today, and I watched some of your stuff the other day, and I really like what you did with the welfare queen thing. That's what shocked me,
Thank you.
because I saw that you just don't do, like panels like most of us do. You actually do other shit where you actually cover news stories, you talk about history and stuff like that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all until I started watching your channel, getting prepared for, for tonight. And that really stuck out, the thing that you did with the welfare queen thing.
Thank you.
That stuck out. So that being said, what do you like more? Do you like doing the panels when you got, you know, 7, 8 of us crazy Negroes on there talking all kinds of mess? Or do you like it better when, you're doing that kind of stuff, pre-prepared, pre-recorded kind of stuff? What do you like to do more?
I'm torn. I like the panels because women like to talk. I love to run off at
Really?
the mouth. Oh
Do they?
yeah, I can talk all damn night. Um, so yeah, so I like to talk, and more than talk, though, I love to learn, and I love to hear someone else's perspective, especially if they lived a life completely different than mine. So I love that, and I love learning. But I must say that my heart is more so in the content. I like to I like to put together the content. It's a bit of
a problem sometimes because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and if I feel like, oh God, I coughed, or you know what I'm saying? So like all of the editing, like I'm working on editing a lot of stuff. I have some big projects that are coming up this week. But like I like that. I like the content part. I like presenting stuff, especially if it's not like if you look through my stuff, most of it I don't do a whole lot of trending topics. A lot of times I'll just think about, like my sleeper cell series. Like I'll think about a concept and then I'll go to work on it. Or I'll think about something that's happening politically that a lot of people don't talk about, and I'm like, why aren't they talking about this part? And I'll do content on that or whatever. But I'm a thinker, I'm a reader. My husband, he's extremely intelligent. So we are always talking and brainstorming, and we talk about history. Like a lot of people would probably find us boring because when we're talking and we're at dinner or I'm making dinner, we're talking about the fucking JFK files, or we're talking about some CIA operation. That's what we do. And so having doing, content like that is second nature to me, and I like to do it because that's naturally what I'll be talking about anyway.
So, well, I guess you're a content creator. So, do you um do you find yourself when you're doing panels, because I know this happens to me sometimes, when you're doing panels, do you find yourself sometimes drifting off into what you hadn't really planned on talking about this particular thing, and it usually drifts off due to the people that you have, down here? Does that happen to you at
Oh
all?
my God, it does. If you watch mine, you know I will get distracted and see some crazy stuff in the chat box. And now the next 15 minutes is about that fool downstairs talking shit. So yeah, I do. That's why, like, sometimes especially when it comes to certain topics, even though I will go live about some of them, I really would prefer to prepare the content because someone is gonna throw me off. Like the conversation goes someplace else every time.
So what do you think? Let me ask you your opinion about this. What do you think shouldn't be on YouTube? Or should everybody be allowed to be on YouTube? What shouldn't be on here?
I hate to say that because I don't run shit, and but I'll just say what I would like to see less of. I would like to see us not shitting on each other the way we do. Like, I just think that I think that we shouldn't make like sweeping um allegations about the entire race. That grieves my heart when I see that. Like, there are some stories I'm going to go ahead and cover them, but I'm going to only cover them on my Patreon only because I don't think black people need any more anti-black propaganda or painting of us as degenerates. So they're going to be trending things that are going to come up in the media every day about us. And I don't want to be YouTuber number 3005 that's black telling you about the black man or the black woman that robbed the liquor store and or that did this or did that. Of course, if it's something noteworthy, I understand that why we should be talking about it and we should be sharing the news. But if I want to give my opinion and commentary on it, right now, I think what I want to do is do that in a smaller space, but air them white folks out.
Mm. Do you believe that there is are we inundated with the quote unquote coon or Sambo sellout folks on YouTube? Do you think there's too many of them on here?
Honey, look, I don't think we realize what cooning like. I hate to say cooning, but it is what it is. But I also kind of think that we need to define what a coon is because it kind of like coons are for the were for the entertainment of white folks. That's what they were historically. And for me, when everything that you say about black people is fucked up, like your entire premise of in life is to get to paint this picture of a black person or a black gender is fucked up, you are the coon of the highest order.
More male coons or female coons on YouTube, in your opinion?
I don't even want to answer that because I don't even get a shit.
Why? Why not?
Let's just say one is too many, because like I'm telling you, like you can't, like you get to criticizing people or groups or whatever, and
Okay.
some groups are more sensitive
Okay,
than
I'll
others. I
I'll
don't want to
jump
hear the shit.
I'll jump out there. I know there's male coons and sambos and sellouts and whatever you want to call them. Um,
Hmm.
are there
Oh, there's some
are
chicks.
there
There's some
female
chicks.
coons on the female
A
side of
plethora,
YouTube?
a plethora of them, and
Okay.
and yeah, a plethora of them. Like, and they're disgusting, and they're trash, just like the men are trash.
Do you believe that the quote unquote female sambos, do you think that they make women like you look bad? Does it reflect on women on your side of YouTube?
No, for me, they bring my stock up even higher. I don't like they make it easy for me. I mean, I know like in the YouTube world, everybody is the same, or like if some girl with 5 subscribers is married to a white dude and has 7 kids and all this kind of stuff, for some reason black YouTube will make her my representation, but in real life she's not. So when women being coons and being stupid, I don't feel like they're a reflection over on me. They're nothing to me.
Well, let me ask you this: do you truly believe, we spoke earlier about YouTube world, because it's like a world of its own, and the real world that we live in every day? Do you think that some of this stuff on YouTube that we do you believe that it changes anyone's lives? Does media help anyone? For instance, I mean, my audience isn't that big. I have like under 2,000. I'm creeping up on 2,000, right? And that means, a couple thousand people listen to me. But I doubt
Mm-hmm.
that many of them are going out and doing the things that I would say to do. Okay. Now, but what if I have one person on there who hangs on my every word? And everything I say to do, this person goes and does it. If I say go buy a tie like this, the next day they have a tie like this. If I say go get a watch like this, they hang on my every word. Now we know most people aren't like that. Well, at least I'd like to think they're not. Um,
Right.
but do you believe that as people on YouTube, personalities on YouTube, because that's what we are, do you believe that we
Mm-hmm.
actually change people's lives with some of this stuff?
Um, I never really thought that I would say that. I guess we do to a certain degree. Because I can see um the influence that some YouTubers have had on our culture. Period. Like the fact that we know what a BT 1000 is shows you that we have influence out here. That we know what a hairheaded hooligan is. That a 16-year-old says simp and beastie and all this kind of stuff. So I guess we do have more influence than I really thought that we probably had. Yeah, I guess we do. But I
Do
don't
you
know if we I just would hope that I would hope that whatever positive attributes we have, that resonates more than than what will be perceived as negative or unproductive. Like people say, a lot, some of the complaints that I get is some people will come to my channel and they're mad because I cuss or whatever, and I pretty much don't give a fuck. But what I do like what I do would like for them to take away from it is that I cooperate with black men, good black men, that and that I do respect them and I do love them, and but I ain't gonna take no shit either. But like, like when we were on Taz's live today, what did you say? If he's on my platform, whoever platform is his platform, he's in front of us at that point. That's real shit. The men that I allowed to come on there, especially the men that the Gabs and the Taz's, the good guys, when they come to the platform, they are, they the man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean they the man as in like, oh, it's like it's not my platform anymore, but we can kind of get behind them. We kind of can stand back, even though, we are, equals on YouTube or whatever. We pretty much respect the hierarchy. I mean, even like Taz told Cynthia to shut up. And she did tell Cynthia G to shut up on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So we get a chance to show that like you can work and cooperate with black men and allow them to be in front and maybe even leading stuff, and leading stuff on the platform, and it's not a big deal. Like we don't have to be at odds with our men.
So should be, do you think it should be more of that? I mean, should it be more of that
I
on
think
YouTube?
it should. Yes. Yes, I think it should. I think we should all be working together to make YouTube, the black YouTube experience, the bomb. I mean, if you go into like different parts of YouTube, it's weird because the way that we talk about it is like it is really a whole nother world. But like they talk bad about black YouTube, you know, other races and stuff like that. But I think that, we can make a concerted effort if enough of us do and make it a different experience. I think that all of us can grow, that we could use this machine to counter the propaganda that is pointed towards us. And I think that if we stop viewing each other as competition and just view each other as, just people, this my tribe. Y'all my tribe. When I think about all the YouTubers, even the ones who make like 100 videos a day about me and say that I'm starting a race war and just make up like some of the dumb shit that some of these dumb Negroes make these videos and they say like it's outright lies and it's just fucking foolishness. But these are literally my colleagues. Y'all are my colleagues. So if you go to work every day, you don't like sit up there and I don't know if you just an ain't shit person, you may, but you cooperate with your colleagues. You know what I'm saying? If they drop a folder on the floor, you pick it up. Most of the time, you hand it to them or you tell them, "Hey, you dropped this." Like, if they're working, if there's a project that's due, and and it has to get out before the month closes for whatever reason at work, everybody's there. It's a team effort. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets graded separately. Everybody has their own little space or whatever. But these are your colleagues. We work at the same place. That's what we're doing. I think that there should be more of that. Like a lot of times, some of the videos that are made about me or people that are angry are because I literally did not look down at the chat box and see that they wanted a link to come on the chat. And the thing is, I don't really pre-plan the panels very much. People just come and randomly come up. People like just randomly reach out. Like I don't know, like Tasha K. She got 400,000 subscribers. She ends up in my chat and on my panel one day. You know, I get a phone call from Professor Griff. I get, contacted by, all different types of people that like I don't even necessarily want to talk about because people would like find another reason to, start talking shit. But like we are all here together cooperating. Like we have a unique position here to change how the media like views us. We can change the media here. We can change how black people are viewed. We don't have to shit on each other all day. We don't have to do this.
That's true. Well, let me ask you these two questions before I let you go. First, is there anyone that you wouldn't allow on your panel? And second, is there any panel you wouldn't be caught dead on?
Anyone I wouldn't allow on my panel. I would have really. I gotta think about that one. Because even if I get to the point where I really don't care for that person or where they're coming from, I want to understand it. So I'm not sure that there's anyone that I won't allow on the panel because even if you're the worst, like most toxic YouTuber, there is something there to be discovered. There's something there to that to be dissected and like I just want to understand. Like, okay, you hate women, all women are evil. You go on your own way and this is wrong. But like, what happened? Why? What happened? What's your experience? Like, cuz sometimes you do learn that people just have really bad experiences and it's just manifesting and it comes off the way it does. So I want to know. Like, I like to see people basically, kind of expose where they're coming from. But as far as panels, what I want go on, hmm, I think if you are what I view as just like anti-black, if most of your talking points is anti-black and you're just straight up disrespectful, like unproductive bubblegum psychology, like, and I don't feel like you could benefit from me being there and I can't benefit and it's just not a benefit from either one of us, like why would I go on Real Brother Radio's panel? Something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, there are places that I won't go because it just won't be a benefit because like if you just want to fight, there's no benefit because I'm not here to fight.
Yeah, well, there's places I won't be cooked. Well, and I'll go to pretty much anywhere. I'll run through any patch, but there's a few places that I won't go, and there are a few people that I just wouldn't allow to come on my shit for the simple fact of who they are and what they talk about. But
Hmm.
but other than that, everybody's welcome. Um, I want
That's
to
good.
thank you, Lady Nyla, for coming through because I know you're busy. Um, I appreciate that this was really, really good. And like I said, you're like the first female on the first, okay? The very first.
Wow.
So I hope this isn't the last time you come back through.
Absolutely
Um,
not.
I know the brothers and the sisters will get a kick out of it because I actually have a decent sized female audience, like 10%. It's up from its usual 4 or 5%. It's back up to 10 now. So,
Okay.
I know the ladies will get a kick out of it and the brothers should get a kick out of it too. I appreciate you coming through, Lady Nyla. This was big and it was cool to chop it up with you. It was.
Thank you so much. And I hope you stop by for a panel discussion one day.
Yeah, it all depends on what's going down over there. I try to
Okay.
I
We'll be
try to pick and
nice.
choose. No, I don't care. I don't care about that. I,
I'm
I
just
try
teasing.
to pick and choose what I kind of, comment on. Certain stuff I don't feel like I should be commenting on. So I just stay the hell back. If it's something if I think I can contribute, I'll come through.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah, I
don't
feel
think
you.
I
That's
have
how
any,
I feel.
if I don't have anything to contribute, I'll just be there in my damn icon and be sitting there for the whole 3 hours not saying nothing. So,
Yeah.
if it's something going down and I think can contribute to, I'll come through. I don't have a problem with that. I'll come
Okay.
through.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Lady Nyla.
All
Definitely.
right. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just got off the horn with Lady Nyla from Nyla Says. If you want to get on down there and subscribe to Lady Nyla's channel, just look down there in the description box. And also, you look down in the subscription box and you'll also see Brother B.I.J's channel as well. Go ahead, look down there. You can go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to. But coming up next on the old been trying to get this brother up here for a little bit, and I finally got him. Brother War Secrets is in the house. What's good, Brother War?
Hello, Mr. Prophet. Thanks for having me, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I know you be kind of busy and kind of, I know it was kind of short notice, but you agreed to come. And I'm glad that you're here. Uh, I know you are red pill brother. And I saw the other day, I meant to tell you this too. I saw the other day somebody blocked you when you was commenting on I think it was last week. So I went ahead and made you a mod because you've been following me a long time, brother. I don't know why they blocked you and shit, but I just want to let you know that I modded you, so that shit ain't gonna happen no more because you've been following me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, so let's get right into it, man. Let's because I consider you the red pill warrior. That's how I label you. So let's get into some of this red pill stuff, shall we? Uh Red pill. Why? For you. Why?
Well, basically, I mean, I look at life through reality. I don't look at things based on like how they should be. You know, when you deal with reality, you get better results. And a lot of people just want to put on a blinder and just, I guess political correctness is what paralyzes people. And then when they're faced with reality, they're shocked. So I just decided to just accept reality and deal with it head on.
So do you think that do you do you think that the whole red pill okay, well let me get this straight before I even go on. Your red pill, are you MGTOW too, or are you just a red pill brother?
No, I'm not Midtown or
Okay,
nothing like
okay.
that. And look, sometimes I just put red pill down just to give an example of how I think. It's
Mhm.
not that I'm like, promoting it like 100%. It's just that me as an individual person, that's just the position that I take when I deal with things on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Well, I know you were on the stream a while back and we covered some things. What's your take on black society on a whole? What's your take on what do you see within black society that demands some immediate change, if not some long-term change?
Well, I think the biggest thing is fathers in the home, decent, productive fathers in the home, and teaching not only black boys but black girls structure, discipline, and integrity. Going to work 9 to 5. Doing the right thing. You don't got to be perfect. Just do the right thing. I think that a lot of us just get hung up on the fancy life, and we just get away from the basics. Like, you're not too good to work at Home Depot. You're not too good to work at McDonald's. Look, as long as you're building as you're working there, you're not too good. So look, have fathers in the home that teach basic like structured discipline, and decent fathers that teach that, hey, listen, you got to crawl before you walk. So hey, don't be too proud to work at Home Depot or Jack in a Box. As long as you do something productive with yourself.
So do you believe that we as a people, many of us, are we too prideful to do certain things that may possibly improve our lives?
100%. I think, like, for example, entry level jobs. A lot of us think that we're better than these entry level jobs. When I was 14, I was washing dishes in the back of a restaurant after school. After school, I would cut grass. My dad would, hey, you can cut some grass. So it's like I was always doing something productive as a kid. And so I'm not above anything. I know I'm a hardworking blue collar man. If I hit rock bottom and I gotta go to McDonald's, I go to McDonald's. I work there. If I gotta work at Home Depot, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not too proud, and my ego is not too big to say I'm better than working, a basic job or something like that.
Well, I'm pretty much the same way. I mean, I'm a blue collar guy. I've been working. Well, I did work in an office for like 2 years when I was a young guy. I hated it. I've been doing blue collar shit ever since. But I've always been a worker. I was raised up by a blue collar man who had his own business. He had my ass out there humping from the time I was 7. So I don't know. I don't even know what it's like to not be doing some type of damn physical labor. I have no idea what that's like. Um, but I think often what happens with us as as people. I think we often, like you said, we're too prideful, we're ashamed to do this, that, and the other thing, even if it's something that'll improve our life a little bit. And I think we often take the easy way out. Um, that's something we need to stop doing. We need to stop always trying to take the damn easy way out, because life ain't supposed to be easy all the time. So let me ask you this. Your brother, you're on YouTube, and you see all the shit that goes on YouTube. You're in the chat rooms, you watch the streams. Do you believe that many of us are an asset or a liability to black folks with the content and shit that we put out?
Hey, listen, right now what's taking place needs to be done. It has to be done. You're going to see and hear some bad things that you don't want to see and hear, but it has to be done. Things have to be earned out. All right. A lot of these black dudes are coming with logic. And I'm not talking about the black guys that got female issues and that can't get bitches. I'm talking about black guys that are coming from a logical point of view. You know what I mean? Like, this has to be earned out. And the more I think, dudes are honest and straightforward, things will be better. But at the end of the day, it's not about hating women or, being against women, because my girl was the best chick I've ever been with my life. So at the end of the day, it's all about, getting to the bottom of what needs to be getting to.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta side with you on that one, brother, because I've been accused. I mean, I've gotten some mail telling me, "Yo, you hate women" and all this kind of nonsense. And I'm relatively mild. Even on the DXLs, we go a little ham on Thursdays. But I mean, I don't hate women. I mean, I'm married. I'm married to a black woman. I've been with this woman this year 18 damn years. I have 2 grown daughters. They're black women. Okay. I don't hate women. I don't hate black women. I mean, I talk about the shit that I see that comes from them, but I don't hate them. And I think what happens, man, is, and I'll ask you if you agree with this. Do you often think that uh our women and some of our men too, are we just way too damn sensitive about shit? The things that are said, or the critiques that are made, or the videos that are made. Are we too sensitive of a damn people?
Yeah, I think political correctness has killed us as black folks. That's like, I mean, like, throughout the decades, we've been taught to be politically correct and accept political correctness. And then when the truth smacks us in the face, our eyes pop open. Like when you see a white person show you their true colors after being so nice to you for so long, you're surprised because they were politically correct. So political correctness really will paralyze black folks. I want you to be who you are when it comes to a white person directly, so I'll know what I'm dealing with up front. So I think we got to move away from this political correctness and start dealing with the reality that's right in front of us.
Well, do you believe that we as black folks, have we adopted this bastardized kind of political correctness from white folks?
Uh, like, could you explain like a little more?
Yeah, like, I mean, because with white people, they have this political correctness, where you can't say this, and you can't call you can't call black people. You got to call them African Americans. You can't call homosexuals. You have to call them, people with alternative lifestyles. That kind of thing. That's white. That's how white folks do it, right?
Yeah.
Now we as black people, we don't want to call things what they really are, period. Okay, we don't just make up another name for them. Often what happens is we don't even call it anything close to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bastardized kind of, political correctness. Do you think there's too much of that within black society?
Yes, and that does paralyze us again. I mean, like I said, it's always good to be upfront and honest. And when you're upfront and honest, you won't have to basically deal with or worry about anybody that's going to. Look, I'm gonna tell you, in my opinion, I think that people who are upfront and honest and put political correctness to the side, you can trust them more because you know what you're getting. You can trust them a lot more. And that's what I think.
Well, I often run into people, in my travels and when I'm out and working and stuff like that. And I run into folks and they say, well, because it's a couple of people in my city that actually watch my shit. I think brother Lando is from the Queen City. And I run into a few people that watch my stuff and they're like, oh, X, you guys shouldn't say this and you guys shouldn't say that, speech policing, something I don't believe in. I don't believe in speech policing, but you have people who want to speech police, especially when it comes to females. They're like, oh, you shouldn't say this around a woman, you shouldn't say that to a woman. And I think when we do that, not only are we doing ourselves a disservice, I think we're doing the women a disservice too. I think when we won't say certain things to them or around them because they're women, I just think that that's BS. I mean, I just think that that's BS because if you're saying something and you're trying to get a point across, why not tell it the way it is? Because if you do that, don't you think you're kind of adopting, as men, we've kind of adopting that whole female thing because, we're used to females not, calling the truth. We're used to females not calling hoes hoes and ratchets ratchets and bums and all that kind of nonsense. We're used to that. So we as men, if we're doing that, we're adopting that. We're adopting that whole, let's not call it what it is shit. So let me ask you, do you think that as black men that we have been influenced too damn much by the women that we're around?
Yes, 100%. But you as a man, you got to say what you feel and speak what's on your mind. Now, look, that doesn't mean you got to be hateful towards women or just talk shit about women because you want to just talk shit about women. As long as you're coming from a serious point of view and that you care about a particular issue, then fine. But see, you got to separate the black guys that are just coming from a position of hatred, the black guys that are coming from a position of like, hey, I care. You know what I mean? So when you can make those two distinctions, then you're fine. See, you got black dudes who are upset because they can't get pussy. Then you got black dudes who can get pussy and they got a stable family, but they still see dysfunction and they're going to speak out against it. So it's like you can be in a stable relationship with a woman and everything is good, but you still see the dysfunction in Black America and you got to speak out against it, whether because you got kids and you don't want your kids to be influenced by those guys or because it's just wrong. So yeah, man, speak your mind. I don't care what it is. Just make sure it's coming from a real position and make sure it's not coming from, I hate women, I'm just going to do this shit. Nah, come from a serious position with it. And if you're genuine and you're honest with it, you're going to stand your ground on it. You know what I mean?
I agree. You know me, I'm a pretty straight shooter any goddamn way. So yeah, we up here live with my man, brother War Secrets. We just got done with Lady Nyla from Nyla Says up on here. And also we had brother B.I.J, brother Black in Japan. And it's a pretty goddamn good show, y'all. So if you're feeling generous, put a few coins in the bucket right there. See right there where it looks like it's been swiped with the yellow highlighter, right there where it says the Proper Thought Series. It is greatly appreciated because y'all know this worth money. Well, brother War, I know you I often see you in the streams, and I often see you type in there red pill conversation. What do you when you do that, what are you referring to when you do that? That's all you type. You be like red pill conversation. You're the only person that does that. What are you referring to when you do that? What are you saying?
Hey, when I do that, basically, I see a panel full of, decent, productive Black guys discussing a logical conversation. There's no fighting. There's no art. There's no nigga. It's just like logical Black guys getting to bottom lines. There's no females coming on the panel distracting us. It's red pill conversation. Black guys telling the truth. hold no punches, no political correctness, fuck your feelings. This is what the fuck's going on, and this is what got to be done. And I like that kind of shit, man. And it's like, we got to push that kind of shit. It's like no distractions, pick a topic, get to the bottom line, solutions, and move forward. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. That's why, many of the brothers, well, the usual suspects, they come through here. Um, they're here for a reason. Notice you see, I have a kind of a carousel of guys that come through, but it's pretty much similar faces. Because I know these guys are going to come up here and say it like it is and talk it like it is and all that kind of stuff. And like on the DXL nights, I don't bring women on the DXL nights. If I do bring a woman on, it's usually somebody like, Lady Ruby or somebody like that, somebody who I know can stand in there because she knows some elbows gonna be thrown. So, she gonna come in there with a face guard on and all kind of shit because she already know how it's going down on DXL. But usually on a Thursday, it's all dudes. It's just it's the usual suspects, as I refer to them as. And we just kind of chop it up, man. As a matter of fact, that we're on that conversation tomorrow, we're going to be talking about we're going to be asking the question, I should say, is YouTube dangerous to black folks? So you want to tune in for that. The usual suspects are going to be there, Info Man, Brother Jay Shine, Brother BMT. Also, we're going to have Brother AM1's going to be in the house. Also, Brother Taz from Taz Exclusives is going to be in the house as well. So y'all going to want to catch this one, boy. Tomorrow going to be a wild one. You hear what I'm saying? So come on through. Like I said, you're going to catch Brother Taz there. Brother AM1's going to be there. Info Man and a bunch of the other usual suspects. So come on through tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Now, you said you don't like the political correctness. Do you think that there is ever a time for political correctness as far as black folks are concerned? I'm not talking about other people. As far as black folks are concerned, is there a time for political correctness?
Well, I think political correctness puts black folks to sleep. I mean, it just puts you to sleep. And then we get surprised and shocked when we see reality or we see somebody's true side. Come out and be straightforward. Fuck your feelings, man. A lot of us have been coddled. After the 70s, we've been coddled and the truth hasn't been put out. Fuck political correctness. I want to know how you feel up front so I can prepare, so I can defend myself against it. Because I'm not trying to change how you feel about me. I don't care how you feel about me. I'm just going to defend myself and think of ways to protect myself from you. So it's like, tell me what it is. Don't be politically correct. So yeah, it puts black Americans to sleep, man. Our ancestors, our forefathers, they seen the true face of these folks. So I mean, political correctness will put you to sleep, man. It will put you to sleep.
Well, do you buy into the narrative that, along with the political correctness, and this isn't a political correct thing to say at all, when people say that, and I asked Lady Nyla this earlier, that the black society is dead, it's over, it needs to be burnt down and built from the ground again. Do you subscribe to that narrative?
Yes, I do, 1000%. Look, we need decent, productive black fathers in the home, teaching values, structure, discipline. Okay, look, we're not perfect, man. We all make mistakes. I don't care if you got a criminal record, whatever the case may be. As long as you change your life and you want to raise decent, productive children for the future, I'm gonna salute you. But if you're giving passes to dysfunction in the neighborhoods, I can't salute you. So it's like, I mean, that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel.
So black society is dead. So what? Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with black society is dead. It needs to be burnt down and rebuilt. So that being said, what do you think needs to happen once it's burnt down and it's time to rebuild? Besides, the fathers, I know that fathers are important. I'm a father myself. Fathers and stuff are important, but what else is important besides, because fathers aren't father. I feel like fathers are 90% of what we need in Black society. I mean, that would like change things in like 5 years. But outside of that, what else does Black society need to not, be dead or crumble and burn? What else do they need besides fathers? What's that other 10%?
I would say reading, writing, basic math and arithmetic, preparing your boys to be able to compete against their white, Asian, and Hispanic counterparts when they become 13, 14, and 15. When your boys can read and write on grade, when they can read and write on grade level, write a paragraph and do basic math, they can grow up to be competitive and be something. So that's what I think the solution is for your question.
Mm. Brother Brandon said Black women need to be feminine. That's the other 10%. That's the other 10%.
100%. 100%.
Brother Brandon. See me. I see my brother Art in the chat too. What's up, brother Art? See me, I agree with that premise. Okay. I even tell my daughters that, because I have 2 grown daughters. And I tell my daughters this stuff. I tell my daughters same kind of shit that I talk on here. I talk in real life. Trust me, they'll tell you they freaking hate me. They think I'm like the meanest, most chauvinistic guy on the planet. But that's fine. But what I think often happens, what gets lost in translation when we're talking about women being more feminine, I think many of them already think they are. Yeah, they already think they are. So when we tell them to be feminine, it goes right. It doesn't even go in one ear and out the other. It just kind of bounces off the first ear it hit, because they already believe that they are feminine already. So, us telling them to do that would be the equivalent of somebody to tell me put a tie on, X. I already got one on. So that's what I think the problem often is. Now, when you talk about when you talk about women being feminine, what do you think brothers mean when they say to be feminine? What would be your list? What would be your list? What would be your standards? What would be your description of being more feminine? What would that entail for you?
Well, me personally, I never had a problem or a bad relationship with a Black woman or anything like that in my life. As a matter of fact, I've always had good relationships with Black women. They melt my hand. It's like, it's always good love. So it's like, it's good. But see, I can understand what a lot of dudes say in the videos that I watch when they talk about, how some Black women are uncooperative and they are basically trying to compete instead of trying to be a partner. And the feminine, well, the best way I can explain it is like this. Remember your first day of kindergarten and you seen your white teacher, she was so soft, sweet, and you were like, damn, she's just a sweet. And it's like, wow. So it's like 2 different worlds, man. It's like when you come from a household where you have an aggressive, masculine mom, shut up, nigga, get in the car, little nigga. When you got those kind of moms and you grow up with an aggressive, a verbally abusive mother, and then you go to school and your first day of kindergarten, you see this soft-spoken little blonde-haired, blue-eyed teacher of yours, white woman, and she's so soft-spoken, you're like, damn, this is 2 different worlds. So femininity is important, man, because that's the way to a masculine man's heart. When a woman is feminine, I mean, you can get a killer to just like melt in her hands, like a soft-spoken, beautiful woman that is just feminine. She can do so much to a strong, alpha, heterosexual male. She can make him like fucking move fucking mountains and shit. So it's like a woman that's being soft and knows her position can do a lot. I mean, a lot. But not an aggressive, loud, aggressive bitch, fuck her. I swear to God, I don't like those kind of chicks. I don't.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, no one wants to be around some loud, belligerent, freaking husky voice. Every other word is a damn piece of profanity. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be around dudes who are like that, all the time. So why the hell would you want to have a woman on your side that's doing all this shit? She's loud, she's belligerent, she got a husky ass voice, she's extra aggressive, and just there's nothing really soft about her when you look at her. She always looked like she just swallowed a damn turd. I mean, no one wants that shit. Um, no one wants that. Well, let's go here. Now, you said that there's a lack of fathers in black society. We all know it, even though a lot of us, we want to frame all this, we'll frame it to something else. What do you believe is the cause of that? I know what I believe. What do you believe is the lack of fathers, the lack of fatherhood inside most of these black homes? What do you believe is the cause of it?
Well, first and foremost, 51% of black men don't have children. This is
Exactly.
a CDC stat. I can post a link. It's already on my channel. 51% of black men don't have children.
Absolutely.
49% do. Okay. But out of that 49% that have kids, 30% are married. So only 19% of black men are responsible for the 78% out of wedlock birth rate. So look, at the end of the day, American black women are picking a small pool of a small pool of loser black guys to get pregnant by. And as a result, these black guys don't want to be fathers. They're not ready to be fathers. They want to hang out on the street corners, sell drugs, sag their pants, and they get caught up in the criminal justice system. They get felonies, and they're not able to be productive men in their children's lives as a result. So at the end of the day, I think that when American black women can pick decent, productive black men, car mechanics, your electricians, your black plumbers, your black engineers, the black guys that are considered lames and nerds, when they pick those kind of guys as fathers, you're going to see a drastic change in black America. But right now, the black Americans that are breeding are the dysfunctional element. We don't have the intellectual element hooking up and breeding at high levels. So at some point, we're going to be swamped by, the dysfunctional class as far as breeding. And this is unfortunate, but I really wish that the smart black folks would really, get together, produce more babies, and instill values and structure and discipline.
So, do you believe that most of the people who are having these children may not necessarily be on the higher IQ scale? Do you believe
Yeah,
that?
yeah, 100%. But look, I'm gonna let you know I don't support abortion, so I'm not on no abortion shit. But you're right, 100%. But at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this: the government is giving an incentive for these low IQ black folks to breed faster than the smart black folks. The government's giving them free Section 8, free food stamps, and free healthcare. So there's an incentive for the low IQ to breed faster than the intellectual black people. So, like, I mean, think about it. Only in America, and this is why America is considered the greatest country ever, because they will give you Section 8 housing if you pop out a baby. So it's like the government is incentivizing the ghetto class to breed faster than the smart black people. And we're being swamped by Pookies and Ray Rays, little Jujus and baby Tech Nines. We're being swamped. So it's like either it's like, what are decent, productive black guys going to do? It's going to be either a brain drain, and these logical black guys are going to just leave, like your mechanics, your black electricians, your black plumbers, your black construction workers. They're going to leave, or it's like, what other option do they got at this point?
Yeah, I have to agree with you to a point, because I mean, when you got a brother who's kind of got his shit together, and he can see, he can see past, the ghetto and the poverty and all that shit, especially if he's a skilled brother. I mean, he's gonna be out where people who have skills are, even if those people who have skills are not black. Okay, I mean, because I look at myself, but see, I wasn't raised in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't raised in the ghetto. I came from a nuclear family. I tell people that shit all the time. I mean, I had my father. My father didn't die till I was like 35. So I mean, I was raised by my old man primarily. Worked with my father ever since I was 7 years old. I mean, so I understand that I'm a fortunate person. Okay, that's probably why I live the way I live now, because I was raised by a man. He taught me how to work. He taught me how to be responsible for my damn kids, and he taught me how to have my own shit. And I know a lot of people don't have that. So when you have people growing up not really being raised, not really being raised to be productive. You know what I'm saying? Because to do the shit you got to do for yourself, you got to understand how to be productive for yourself. You have to start there. All right. So if you've never been taught that, you just kind of playing it by ear. You know what I'm saying? You kind of, flying the plane while you building it and shit. So, you barely keeping it from crashing, because you putting the floor in, you got the wings taped together, you just barely keeping it from crashing. And some people do crash because they don't finish building the plane in time before it hits a goddamn mountain or something. But what I want people to understand is that, just because you were raised up in some fucked up circumstances doesn't mean you have to grow up to be a fucked up person. I mean, just because your old mama never took the time to teach you shit, especially you brothers. I mean, girls, something else. I mean, another woman got to talk to y'all. But brothers, just because you grew up in an old house with old whole bag mama and she didn't teach you shit, and she tracked men in and out the house and shit like that, doesn't mean that you have to grow up to be a messed up person, man. You don't have to. You do not have to. You don't, because you can get a certain age, man, and change your life. You can do shit that'll change your life, man. So you can think different, act different, be different. You don't gotta be like these other fools standing on the corner and shit, selling drugs and doing all kinds of crazy shit and toting guns and chasing these old raggedy hoes so they can have a baby on your ass and have you in child support court for the next 21 years. You don't have to do that. I understand. It's probably really, really hard growing up with old whole bag mama and no father, not knowing who your daddy was and shit like that. I know that probably was hard. I can't really relate, but I had friends who was like that. Okay, I grew up with brothers that was like that, and a lot of those brothers turned out to be fucked up dudes, but not all of them. Some of them grew up and became productive people with a good career, with a good job, with their own business, married, wife, kids, own their own house. So that could be you too, man. That could be you too. So I mean, don't let it get you down, young fella. I don't do this shit to get you down. I do this shit, man, to open your damn mind. That's why I do this shit now. But anyway, back to Brother War. Sorry about that, Brother War. Every now and then I go on my little rants and shit. Let me ask you this. What do you think the state of black YouTube is like? I mean, what do you think about these black YouTubers, the brothers? We'll start there. We'll start with the brothers. What do you think about? What do you think about this whole YouTube shit, man?
Hey, man. Hey, it gotta be done. These dudes, just like I said earlier, red pill, reality, like it has to be done. You gotta earn out some things. These black feminists are on a crusade to demonize all black men. Like I said, 51% of us are childless. It's like the arguments that are being put forth, again, the logical black guys, not the black guys that just hate black women. I'm talking about the logical black guys that, that they're married, they got relationships, they got kids, and they're concerned about their kids being exposed to this dysfunctional culture, subculture within Black America. So it's like these are valid arguments these guys are talking about. And if you're serious about seeing Black America survive for another 300, 400, 500 years, listen to these red pill dudes. Listen to these guys that are being logical. Again, not the black guys that just hate black chicks because they can't get no pussy. I mean, you got dudes on here, they just hate black women because they can't pull no bitch. I'm not talking about those kind of black guys. I'm talking about black guys that are concerned about the family structure. That's what I'm saying. Like black guys that are putting good arguments forth, like, hey, listen, it can be done better. The feminist movement has corrupted Black America. We can do better. So it's like, listen to those type of black dudes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let me ask you about the other side. What's your take on the female YouTubers? What do you think about them?
I mean, honestly, listen, man. Look, black folks have internal enemies and we have external enemies. And when you see somebody that show you their true colors, you gotta accept it for what it is. Now, I don't really follow a lot of these female YouTubers because females are females, man. Like, I mean, like, they got their own agenda. I mean, this feminist movement has compromised so many black women. You don't know who you're dealing with until you really, talk to them. So a lot of these black chicks on YouTube, in my opinion, you just don't know what you're dealing with because many have been compromised with this feminist shit, man. It's like a lot been compromised. So it's like give them the benefit of the doubt until I'm talking about YouTube, not in real life, YouTube. Give them the benefit of the doubt until they show their true colors, because in time you see what they really about. You know what I mean? Like you see what they're about. But I don't be following these females too much on YouTube like that because it's pointless. And like, cause look, a lot of these dudes show off whenever a female come on a panel or whenever they're around pussy. And I don't come on YouTube to get pussy or pander to pussy. I'm coming on YouTube to get to some shit, solutions and type of shit. But you got dudes coming on panels because they want to show off and pander to pussy. Fuck that, man. I'm not pandering to shit. I'm trying to fucking get the solutions, network with logical, smart black dudes about shit. That's what I'm about. But too many guys get on YouTube and they want to pander to these chicks on the panels, particularly. Like, you got dudes that want to show off. Nigga, I'm this nigga. I'm tough. Nah, it's not about that. It's about solutions and moving forward. Because shit is getting serious out here. If you don't got a skill, if you're not about something productive, you're going to be left behind out here, man. It's not about showing off for these hoes and trying to be all fan. Nah, man. Have your agenda, be what you're about, and put your agenda forth. And if it's some bullshit, people are going to challenge you on it. I'm not perfect, and motherfuckers, you want to challenge me, challenge my shit. But I'm telling you how I feel.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, man. I've noticed that too on some of these panels, where there's women on there and, the dudes come on and, they kind of want to, I don't know, they want to show some bravado and shit, their voice tone change and the whole nine, and they pandering to the chicks and shit for whatever reason. I think that's pretty stupid because this is YouTube. I think that's stupid, and I don't think it accomplishes anything. All it does is bolster a narrative that we claim we're trying to dispel, if you will. But what often happens is, you get on these panels, man, and it's a bunch of different personalities and shit, and usually, more often than not, I'm not saying it happens every single time, but often what happens is, especially in male spaces, when you bring a female or two into that space, the conversation has a tendency to fucking degrade. It turns into some other shit. It goes off into a tangent on something we wasn't even talking about at first. So let me ask you this. Do you think that women should be allowed inside of black men's spaces? Should we be allowing them to come on these panels and such?
No, absolutely not. I can't even watch ESPN without a chick popping up. The Boy Scouts, these feminists have invaded the Boy Scouts. For the past 70 years, the Boy Scouts have been boys, males. So it's like, what space do men have now? And I think that when they infiltrate male spaces, it's a way to get us to tamp down what we really want to say. And look, a lot of these guys on these panels who host these panels with chicks, they change, man. They never seen no good pussy. And whenever they see a pretty bitch, they just change up. I can name you like four different hosts on panels. They talk this red pill shit, but as soon as they see a bitch or somewhat of a pretty bitch, they change up and they simping.
Now they blue pill again.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, listen, man, you gotta be serious, to the point, get to the question, get to the solution. Fuck her looks, fuck her cleavage, fuck whatever she's trying to fucking manipulate you with. But you got so many of these dudes on here, they change up as soon as they get a pretty bitch in front of them because they don't get pussy. Like a lot of these dudes on here, they don't pull bad bitches. So whenever they see someone of a bad bitch, they just lose all fucking concentration. I need a straight red pill dude. When you got a bitch on the panel, hey, these are the questions. What's the solution?
Yeah.
And that's how I'm coming at it, bro. I mean, I'm being real with you, bro.
Do you think that that some of these women on YouTube, do you think they've picked up on that? Because some of them, they kind of pretty and all that kind of shit. So have they picked up on the fact that all they got to do is get up there and say a few words, and they'll just have these fucking dudes all off their game? Do you think some of these female YouTubers have picked up on that?
Yes, because they see these guys don't get pussy. And a lot of them are frustrated. You got to separate the black guys who can pull bitches and got families, but they can still see the dysfunction in Black America, and separate the black guys who don't get no pussy and they're just mad and they just hate women.
They haven't had their knob polished in a decade. God damn it.
Separate those black guys from the black guys that got a logical argument. Because you do got black guys that just hate women. They just hate they hate black women. You separate those guys from the logical black guys that may have families, they have daughters, they have sons, and they are really concerned about their sons being exposed to the dysfunction. They're concerned about their daughters being exposed to dysfunction. Like you, for example, you did your best to raise decent, productive kids, but you can't control what Bonquisha down the street is doing with her kids. But see, her kids are going to still influence your kids at school, regardless of what you teach them. So it's like, how do you get Bonquisha to teach her kids to be on the same page that you are with your kids? And that's the dilemma Black America has right now. So it's like, if you're a decent, productive black guy and you got kids, your main concern is that they're going to be influenced by the negative black children out here. Now, listen, if you raise your children with decent values, they're going to know not to cross that line. Even if they see, Pookie doing some dumb shit, they're going to say, all right, I know Pookie was raised by his mom, so my dad wouldn't allow me to do that shit. So he's going to have boundaries. At the end of the day, when you have a father, he's going to teach you to be productive and do the right thing.
True. Very true. Do you think that often when these dudes, you talk about the dudes who, they don't get women, they haven't had women in 9-10 years. Do you think that often these guys are out front? Are they more often than not representing the rest of us? Do people look at them and be like, oh, that's how all these guys are? Do you think that happens?
Yes, I do. But in reality, I just think that's just a tactic to basically shut a lot of guys up who do get pussy, though. And that poor bitches. Or you don't get no pussy. Listen, man, I get pussy. Look, I got enough pussy already in January to last me the whole fucking year. So it's like I'm gonna say what I feel. regardless. And again, man, like you gotta separate those guys from the black guys who got no problem pulling chicks. I mean, I can pull. Look, I go to Florida. I go to fucking L.A. I go to fucking New York. I pull bitches. I can pull a bitch every day if I want. But it's like I'm bigger than that now. It's like I'm beyond that point because it's like, what more can I get from you after sex? What kind of conversation can I hold with the female? Like, I'm beyond just fucking bitches. You know what I mean? I'm beyond that point. So, a lot of these dudes who just can't pull bitches, they're stuck on just hating women. But the black guys who already, pull chicks, they have a valid concern if they see dysfunction in Black America. And you got to speak out against it. You got to. You can't silence yourself or just keep your mouth shut. Speak out against it.
Do you think on media, us black folks, do we spend too much time talking about relationships and not about the other shit?
Well, I think solid relationships will build solid families and good relations between, male and female, and the children can see that. And like I said earlier, you have to earn out. You have to earn out these problems. And I think in the future it's going to be fine. You just got to get to the bottom of it and earn it out.
Well, I can't really disagree with that. I mean, cause solid relationships build solid families. So, if you got a decent relationship and you're trying to build a family, when you build a family, because family's key. I mean, I tout that a lot, and I don't do it just because I am a family man. I also came from a family. Okay, I was part of a family coming up as a young guy, and I built the family when I got out on my own and became an adult. And you see the fruits of your labor. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm a grandfather right now. Okay, I'm a grandfather. I got 5 grandchildren. I got my oldest grandson. He's named after me. So, long after I'm dead and gone, there'll be another damn X running around here terrorizing this damn planet. And so, I mean, I think that's what it's all about in the long run. I think oftentimes as black folks, I think we sort of lose sight of that. Sometimes we lose sight of legacy and family and the true meaning of that shit. I think we kind of focus on right now as opposed to focusing on the right things for life later on. So, I mean, I just think that so let me ask you this, because we only got about 10 minutes left up in here. Well, let me ask you this. Where do you see black society in the next 10 to 15 years? Where do you see it going?
Hey, you caught me with that question. Machiavelli. You caught me with that question, bro. Hey, man, I don't know what to say to you, man. I mean, damn. It depends, bro. It depends. Like, if the red pill message can get out there, you said 10 years or 5 years?
10 years. 10 years.
All right. If these red pill YouTube dudes can get the message out consistently, and we can get these chicks to pick decent, productive fathers, the Steve Urkel types, the Carlton Bank types, shit will turn around. Like, your black car mechanics, your black construction workers, your black engineers. If we can get that kind of, if the women can pick decent fathers with values and structure, shit can turn around, man. But I don't know, bro, because like right now, the way shit is going, like, I mean, like the demographic shift, how like Hispanics are moving in on all black neighborhoods and like black folks are having abortions and we're becoming a minority. Black America, we're going to leave our children and our great grandchildren a huge mess, a dysfunctional huge mess, sagging pants, nigga. It's going to be bad, bro. Unless there's like some type of like culture shift where there's family values. Black America is spiraling downhill, bro. This is that red pill honest shit. I'm telling you the truth. You may not want to hear it, but it's like, as far as the morals, we got more LGBT black folks than ever before. We got more black guys that are just like, fuck it, I want to sell drugs, be a gang member, a loser. I mean, it's just getting fucked up, bro. So, and unless mothers start picking decent fathers, like, it's not going to get better. You got to have decent black men, your black construction workers, your black plumbers, your black electricians, your black car mechanics. When those guys can raise decent kids and teach those kids values, then you're going to see a change, bro. So to answer your question, in 10 years, I see black folks being a permanent minority because of abortion, first off. And I see black folks being terrorized and victimized even more as a result. That's what I believe.
Wow, man, because, you know, I would like to think that, you know, things are going to turn around. You know, I mean, I would like to have a optimistic view of black folks, you know, but you see so much shit, you know, that makes you think, you know what, shit's just not going to ever get right. You know, you see, you see so many things that make you think otherwise. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you see so many things that make you see otherwise. And, you know, I kind of, you know, I like to call it the way I see it too. You know, I don't like to sell people freaking popcorn dreams and shit, you know, because I think that that's wrong. You know, so I try to tell people what I see and why I see it. And unfortunately, I happen to be one of those dudes who, you know, think that maybe black society isn't, you know, dead all the way, you know, because I'm optimistic. Maybe it's not dead. I'd like to think that it's not dead, but there are parts of black society that are irreparable. I mean, and this is me speaking as a power mechanic and a mechanical engineer for more than 30 years. There are some things that cannot be repaired. I mean, just that's a fact. Now, is it the whole damn thing? I don't necessarily feel it's the whole damn thing, but I feel like there's many parts of black society that cannot be repaired. You know, some of them are just like things that come into my shop. Some things are junk. There's no fixing it. There's no repairing it. There's no patching it up. You just got to get rid of it and get another one. And I think that's what many things that go on in black society are. You know, they're beyond repair. You know, they cannot be fixed. You know, so we just have to give up on that particular part and maybe replace that part. Well, let me ask you a couple more questions before I let you grow, brother. War Secrets. Um, do you think that black men are? Do you think black men are better off now than they were, say, 20, 30 years ago? Or are we worse off? Given what we know in media and, you know, Red Pill and MGTOW and IBMOR and all that kind of stuff, do you think that we as black men, are we better off now than we were, say, 20, 30 years ago?
Yes, we are. We as black men have far more opportunities than our forefathers. Our black forefathers paved a way for us as black men today. And it's up to us to take advantage of these opportunities. America's a first world country, okay? There's plenty of opportunities for us to take advantage of. Okay, I don't believe in no victim ideology. The white man is holding us down. I don't believe in that. We have far more opportunities than our forefathers had. Our forefathers had to experience hard times, and I salute them. I even go back and I watch old videos of my black forefathers from back in the 30s and the back in the 1900s. Those black men went through some hard times, and they wanted their great grandsons like us to be living productive lives, and that's why I go hard on these Pookies and Ray Rays, because they are disgracing our black forefathers. They are a disgrace be with their pants down, nigga. They are disgracing our black forefathers from the 30s. They're disgracing our black forefathers from the 1900s. So this is why I go hard on these Pookies and Ray Rays, because they've embraced this subculture after the 70s. After the 70s, but look, black Americans were basically dressing with, khakis and a button-up shirt. And after the 70s, you had NWA, you had all those rap groups, and you saw how black guys changed how we dressed. We start sagging our pants, we start getting a gold chain, we start having the oversized t-shirts. That was all a Hollywood image to basically condition young black boys without fathers. Those movies like Boys in the Hood, remember those movies back in the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Menace to Society, New Jack City. Those movies were all made to condition young black boys without fathers that were 8 and 9. Basically to get you to, portray a certain image with your, pants down and your oversized t-shirts. Before that, your black forefathers, were decent, productive men. They wore button-up shirts. They wore, dressed up pants. They weren't sagging. So it's like, that's why I go hard on these losers within black America. Now, when I say losers, I'm not trying to say I'm better than nobody, because like I said, my dad raised me in the suburbs. My mom lived in the hood. So I had both experiences. But at the end of the day, I know the sacrifices my black forefathers made. My grandfather, my great-great-grandfather. So I do get mad when Pookie and Ray Ray take shit for granted, because a lot of us don't know what we're up against right now. And it pisses me off. So yeah, I mean, look, we have to show appreciation for our black forefathers, because we have far more opportunity than they did. They were being lynched, man, from 1900 to 1960. Our black forefathers are being lynched, like, just for fucking picnics and shit. And here we are in fucking 2019. We're living good. We can buy jewelry. We can buy Jordans. We can buy fucking whatever we want. We living good and shit. And a lot of, I'm telling you some real shit that, like, a lot of us don't want to really realize the history that made us what we are today, man. Our black forefathers suffered a lot. You don't know what those black dudes went through back then. The humiliation. So salute those black dudes from back in the day, because today we able to live good. That's what I got to say, bro.
Yeah, well, I gotta agree with that. I mean, we don't go through nowhere near. I mean, you hear people cry racism and Jim Crow and all this shit all the time right here in 2019, but I mean, no one can actually say with a straight face that we go through the same shit that our great grandfather went through. I mean, that's a fucking lie. I mean, we may have to face some discrimination and some bigotry, but my great grandfather felt that shit 10 times harder than I did. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, and no one can deny that. Okay. To deny that is to just tell a straight damn lie. But once again, man, I appreciate you coming through, brother. I've been trying to get you on here for a minute. Finally got you. I hope it's not the last time that you come through, my brother War. And if y'all want to subscribe to Brother War, just look right down here in the old description box, and you can subscribe to his channel. You can also subscribe to B.I.J's channel, Nyla Says channel, and once again, you look down there, you'll see Brother War Secrets channel as well. I actually was down on his channel today earlier. It's some good shit down there. He's got a couple hundred videos, so you need to get on down there and check it out. All right, that goes to everybody that you see down there. Go down there, check them out, subscribe. I'm sure they will appreciate the support. Tell them OX sent you. But anyway, Brother War Secrets, man, I appreciate you coming through, man, spending some time with us on the old Hours of Power. Hours of Power. Hours of Power. Always a pleasure, brother. Like I said, don't let it be the last time you come through, man. It was good chopping it up with you, man, one-on-one, man. It's the first time I had a one-on-one with you, man. Don't let it be the last time, all right?
Yes, sir. I appreciate your invitation, sir, and you take care.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming, brother. Peace. Yeah, just got off the horn with my man, brother War Secrets. Very straightforward, brother. I like this brother. Very straightforward. He says what's on his mind. He's been following me for a minute. I always see him in the chat room. He's always writing red pill conversation. That sticks out. I appreciate him coming through. And like I said, if you want to check out any of the guests that we had here on the old Hours of Power tonight, just look down there in the old description box and you will see the links to their YouTube page. Get on down there and check them out and subscribe. And while you're at it, if you haven't done it already, subscribe to this damn channel too. Okay, make sure you subscribe to this damn channel. Also, don't just be going to them. Don't just be going to the damn YouTube pages that I'll be sending you to. You make sure you stop and you subscribe to the old T.P.O.T YouTube page first. Then you go down there. Then you subscribe to theirs. You understand? Make sure you subscribe here too. All right. And make sure you get these likes up. Click them up before you leave out of here, because you know the show is about to end, right? But anyway, this is what I want y'all to do. I want you to go on down to Prophet of Thought series on Facebook. That's Prophet of Thought, one word series, next word on Facebook. That's our main page. It's a community page. Go down there, like the page, follow the page, share the page. There's always some good stuff going on down there. You can also catch up with me down there. You can actually leave me a message, and I always get back to you within 24 and 168 hours. Also, while you're there, get on over to the T.P.O.T bandwagon page. That's actually a personal page. You can actually leave it a friend request, and I will make sure it gets confirmed quick. And while you're there, you might as well stop by the Proper Thought Series fan group page. That's right, the Proper Thought Series fan group page. Get on down there, request to be a member. You'll get accepted quick. There's always some good stuff being posted down there because, like I said, it's a fan page. So you ain't just got to listen to old X talking smack all the time. There's other people down there posting stuff and talking smack too. So get on down there to the Proper Thought Series fan group page. Be one of the 3,000. Also, check us out on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's right, Prophet of Thought on Instagram. That's Prophet of Thought on Instagram. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram. You guaranteed to get a follow back. Just ask the people who follow me. They always get a follow back. And here we go again. Here we go again. I need you to get your black behinds down there on Twitter. The handle is at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. That's at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, or I will haunt you in your dreams for the next 5 months. Once again, I like to thank y'all for coming out tonight, man. I appreciate it, man. I like to thank my mods in the chat. I also like to thank the folks in the chat, and I like to thank you for showing up tonight and watching us and spending some time with us. And make sure you have your black behinds here tomorrow, because tomorrow is DXL night, Dark Exodus live. It's going to be a berserker's barrage like it always is on Thursday nights. Tomorrow we'll be asking the question, is YouTube dangerous to black folks? That's right, is YouTube dangerous to black folks? And tomorrow we're going to have a few new faces tomorrow. Brother Taz going to be in the house. Also, Brother N1 going to be in the house as well, and a few of the usual suspects. Brother Nagone, Brother Jay Shine. I think my brother Info Man is coming through, and we might even see Brother Amiri Brown as well. I don't know who's going to be there, so you're going to have to tune in to find out. So have your black behinds right here tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You know. But anyway, with that, I will leave you with 3 words. like I always do, open your minds. And we are out of here, y'all.
Let us open our minds. I know leadership don't need
Peace, folks.
If we don't stop, they parade, they celebrate. Eat caviar, drink champagne. If we parade, they celebrate. At the death of a child, of a slave. Child of a slave. Remember your forefathers' tears, the life which was lost for us to see peaceful years when shots stop, moving remains flat. If they parade, they celebrate. Eat caviar, drink champagne. If they parade, they celebrate. At the death of the child of a slave. Proper thought. Open our mind. We don't stop. Open our mind. Open our mind. The child of a slave. Proper thought. Open our mind. Only from T.P.O.T. Open your mind.